might go off, or I don't know, what kind of practical jokes do you play?
Well, with my new chemistry set, thanks to Brie Larson, I do like to make stink bombs.
Welcome to the Tim Show. I'm Tim Witter Morrison. Now, each week I invite a couple of buddies over to have a bit of a corridor. We have a bit of a sing-song, and I show them some of my postcards from Hollywood. Ooh, and they're looking pretty flash too. I visit the whānau in New Zealand and around the globe, and I even score some A-listers. Now, this week we've got a Tim Show special, Episode 3, Involvement of the Kiwis. I'm talking Star Wars. We find out how they make us clones. And I catch up with Rena Owen and talk to the producer, Rick McCullum, and talk to the big guy, George Lucas. So, lightsabers on!
Also, her mit Herzen von
That's wildly inappropriate.
Welcome to the Digibowl on Fox Kids with your host, Terry Bradshaw.
Look at me. I get to host the first Digibowl. The first. Super Bowls, they come and go. But the Digibowl, now that's exciting stuff. But can't do it alone, so luckily I have two authentic Digi-Destins, Izzy and Kari, helping me. First, let's check in with my sideline correspondent, Kari. Maybe she can tell us what in the heck a Digibowl is.
This stream is live during the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. Without the labor of the writers and actors currently on strike, the content being covered here wouldn't exist. Stay Bombad.
Welcome to the Bombadcast.
The chat is hot tonight. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a wonderful Bombadcast Thursday. Happy to have you here. Stan is also here. Super happy. Thank you, Stan. Stan's also he's our new producer, so he'll chime in whenever it's necessary. That being said, this is the Bombadcast every Thursday. We're rocking and rolling here, talking about Star Wars. We're covering Ahsoka for like the next, I don't know, until mid or beginning of October. And the gang is all here. Look at the chat. The chat is on fire right now. Jerry, pull up some chats. Let's look at some chats right now. We got a great slew of people. The Scotty Holiday fan club. That's right. Scotty Holiday and Regan. What a two wonderful set of guests. Bombad Gaming is also live every Wednesday. I did not play this past week. I was reading too much Joseph Campbell. What the hell, man? That's so lame. What's wrong with me? God, what's wrong with me? Anyway, happy to have everyone here. We also need to give a special shout out to our patrons. Let's get them pulled up right here. These are wonderful patrons: Trevor, Richie, Preston, Buck, Alden, David, Trey, Wesley, Chase, Neil, Todd, Brian, M, Michael, Brian, Jeff, Jared, Seth, Sean, Rick, Joe, Brendan, Andy, Will, Scotty. And it's on and on and it's on and we didn't start the Patreon. So anyway,
Marilyn Monroe.
that was Jerry. Super happy to be here though. Really, it's going to be a wonderful night. We're going to talk about a show that I've been very excited for these past couple of years, I guess you could say. Remember, it's not scripted. It is, of course, always Bombad. Always Bombad, not scripted. Thank you, William. But yeah, I guess we should get this show on the road. Speaking of, let's look at Cockring Barbie, and we'll be good. So if you haven't yet, then just know that we are supporting the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA strikes to make sure these people get paid properly for all their hard work in creating content such as what you're watching right now and the things we cover. So if you can, do us a large favor, scan that QR code. If you don't know what's going on right now in Hollywood and around the world, that is your best way to see. We're going to leave that up for the entire stream. And yeah, it's a good place to get information from. But all that being said, let's bring in my Bombad brother, my Bombad partner, the one and only Jerry the Cable Jungle.
Who invited you here?
Ryan started the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. Hey, Bombad started the fire. How's it going, buddy?
Doing pretty good. We vibing? We're doing okay?
All right. I think
How's
so.
the weather going?
I come in singing. It's not every day that I come in singing. I mean, listen. So I texted Scotty that it was about to do a thunderstorm. Like it's about to do a thunderstorm. We're about to do a thunderstorm here up in here, up in my neck of the woods. But the thing is, that was me actually like 10 minutes ago, right there. I think Stan took that actually of me. So appreciate Stan. Takes a lot for me to like get camera ready. I mean, sorry, sir. Sorry, Stan. Sorry, Stan. But no, yeah. So like I said, it said it was going to storm. It thundered a couple of times.
Still kind of scary.
I'm disappointed.
Still kind of scary.
I'm disappointed. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, once I finally peeled myself out from underneath my bed, I brushed myself off and I got on here. You listen, people didn't come here to watch us chit chat.
They want to
for 7 minutes. They want us, for one thing, to bring in our wonderful guests that are two beautiful, wonderful, hilarious, smart, talented people. But also, real quick, I want to say again, scan the QR codes that we give out during this, guys, because again,
you get a cookie.
We need to support these people in the strikes and everything like that. We need to get the info, everything you need to know about the strikes.
There's 3 right here. If you don't believe us, we're gonna
3. Yeah, you scan all of these QR codes because we want to make sure we're getting the info. Yeah, you'll get cookies, and also you help your fellow human being, true. And that is good above everything. But yeah, no. Honestly, I just want to off the top say fuck Disney. Pay your people. The only reason we have what we have is because of the people who need to be paid.
That's true.
So
rock and roll. I want to bring in one of our oldest friends.
Let's bring in these.
I want to bring one of our oldest friends. I believe this wonderful person was there from our very first live stream on, thanks to our friend Jared, and they'll know who I'm talking about. The legendary, one and only Regan.
Wanna have you near me? I wanna have you hear me say it.
I love this doll. Regan, what's going on?
Woo! Hi, how is everything?
Hi.
I didn't bring out Cookie Cop. I forgot. But
it's okay.
Stream, so I had to leave him in another room.
He's been banished from my household. He's gone.
I know.
No,
well, he met
Regan, Scotty killed one of those.
So Regan, I don't know if you remember the last time we were supposed to be on screen together. I had like a really, really horrible phone call come through 2 seconds before we went live talking about Nope. And then before that, I think I only joined because you were on Hyperfocus. I don't know on you if I've ever
I was on Bombad, and I was actually filling in for you because you couldn't be there, and then you showed up by surprise.
That was it. That was it. So let's talk about this. I don't think we've ever had the opportunity to actually have you on in this capacity. Do you remember your first one you ever watched? I don't know if you ever remember the very first one. I remember the first time you
I
showed
remember-
up.
I
don't-
it was. I remember
don't-
that because it was Cookie Cop, and then I literally like rushed.
Yeah.
I rushed to Twitter,
Yep.
took a picture of my Cookie Cop, and I was like, "I have found my people. I have found my
Yeah.
people."
That's right. That's right. Isn't that beautiful?
Was that when you found Jared
No,
as
no,
well?
no,
or you
no,
already
no,
like
Jared.
following
I found,
Jared?
I
Okay.
found Jared because I was in Raylo Twitter in the lead up to Rise of Skywalker, and it was a dark and
Right.
scary place. But Jared was always, there were always just kind of like these crusties always just giving Jared nonsense
Of
for
course.
all of his opinions, which are intelligent and objectively correct. And that's like that's how I knew him. I think I butted into a conversation uselessly to be like, "Hey, you leave him alone." But you know, and I thought this is like our story, is that I thought he hated me because
What?
it was just like random girl whose Twitter profile at that point had very little to do with Star Wars. It was mostly pictures of my cat. Like you know, and then he
Yeah.
thought I was a bot. So
Listen, bots don't do cat pictures. Bots don't have a soul.
So what's funny?
like
know
that.
what's
Like,
funny?
right,
Reagan,
so-
our
yeah.
other guest on this stream, just finished recording with our wonderful trivia rival
Our
Jared,
mutual friend.
mutual friend,
Yes, our mutual enemy. Frenemy.
mutual enemy. Let's bring in the one and only Scotty, the Body Holiday.
Who invited you here?
What's up?
You've been on a lot recently, Scotty. Can we see your nipples?
The hotter Scotty has arrived. Whoa!
You have
here
to
we
pay
go.
for those on my OnlyFans. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh.
Let me go fork up like however much it costs.
Come on, let's get. Listen, we've already got like 50 fucking QR codes.
We
up here.
do.
Let's get another one.
We
up
just
there.
get
No,
just get one more. No, Scotty, glad to have you here. Scotty, you came on for our, if I'm not mistaken, oh god, what was Mandalorian show, didn't you?
I think, have I done Mandalorian
I think.
and Indiana Jones?
Okay, I think so. Yes, actually.
They did come on for Indy.
Yes.
Like I remember you coming on for
Yes.
Indy, because it was like your first time watching Indy, right?
Yes.
First time paying
Temple of
attention
Doom.
to it.
Temple of Doom.
Right. My
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
no, it was fun.
Sex worker at it again. That's right.
Okay,
Scotty
do
was-
you understand why? Do you understand why it
I
says sex
don't.
worker?
No,
So,
I don't.
my handle is Scotty Holiday SW for Scotty Holiday Star Wars. But
Oh.
when people see SW, it's like they think sex worker. So I'm also Scotty
Yeah.
Holiday sex worker.
That works
for
with
me,
us.
it's
It's
like
like
triple
when you look
confusion
up Star Wars
because Star Wars,
Explained.
it's sex workers, and then my company has a product called Smart Workforce, which is always SW. And I keep trying to like put everything in our marketing in the Star Wars font because I think that works better, and they don't let me. But
Oh well.
I am not
I kind of
smart
love
It
workforce.
that.
was best. I think it
I am
was
not smart workforce.
It's like when you look up Star Wars Explained on Twitter, the handle looks like Star Wars Sex Plane or something for a second. You know what I mean? When it's all crammed together. So, which honestly, Star Wars Sex Plane, sign me up.
I agree.
I'm just saying.
I
That's
also
that's
agree.
my OnlyFans name. So you look it up.
Oh, no, well there you go. Star Wars Sex Plane.
So I want to ask the question to the
Nice.
chat and get their thoughts in, but I also wanted to ask y'all before we got into this, what was y'all's relationship to Rebels or Ahsoka or any of this before this show aired? You know, I don't know. I don't really know. You know, on a deeper level, what was it? Did y'all have like did y'all watch Clone Wars when it released, or Rebels when it released? I really don't know.
I didn't watch any of it when it released. I bought myself a box set of the Clone Wars early on in lockdown before I had
Yes.
streaming, because I wanted to catch up. And it was at that point when I would like kind of mention that like everybody would, you know, it started the long journey of you got to watch Rebels, you got to watch Rebels, you got to watch Rebels, and then honestly, it was because of like just being in this sort of podcast space. People referenced it so much that I just didn't want to be lost anymore. And then I was like, oh, it's really good. Like it's really arguably I think it's better. I feel like the Clone Wars, the first 4 seasons of the Clone Wars are kind of, they drag, and like Rebels is pretty consistently good throughout.
Sure.
So.
I'm a little bit different in the sense that so it was late to Clone Wars, and by late it was when it was put on Netflix. So once Clone Wars was put on Netflix, I basically binged it, and then as soon as I finished, at the time it was seasons 1 through 6, Rebels was like, promo for that has started coming out. So I was like, hell yeah, this show might be over, but we're just moving on to the next Star Wars animation show. And all the
Yeah.
gripes about, oh, the animation's different. Oh, like, I don't know these people. Oh, this is the first thing under Disney. Like, I don't know what it's going to be. For me, and this ties into what we're talking about tonight, once Ahsoka came into the fold, like,
Oh yeah.
I was in it. It was good by itself, but once she came in, like, it solidified it as a show that I really liked. And like Regan said, it's pretty solid for its 4 seasons, whereas the Clone Wars stumbled at first. And maybe not even stumbled, but it's a little rough.
Yeah.
But
It took some big swings. Some of them didn't always connect, but yeah.
But Rebels, it's a lot more direct and to the point. And even talking about Ahsoka and Rebels, I feel like her journey is even more emotional because of all the kind of baggage that came from her time during the Clone Wars series. So when we get into her story in Rebels, like, it's intense the majority of the time.
I agree. And like, there's always a conflict for that character. There's never anything easy going on for Ahsoka. And like, I think it's really important to acknowledge how rooted this character is in both of those shows. And this actually leads to my next kind of thing. Because everyone in the chat knows how Jerry and I feel about Rebels and Clone Wars. We've talked about it ad nauseum. So I kind of want to just keep dwelling on what y'all thought. And this show, if I'm going to be honest here, it does kind of rely heavily on knowing what came before it. And Reagan, I know you have a couple people in your life that felt very alienated because
like,
it was
immediately.
so. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I do.
No, it's
first
okay.
of all, I don't want to say another word before I say there is no Ahsoka without Ashley, and
Yes.
and I want to see her honored. I hope she shows up in this show, but I also feel like it's so important that we acknowledge that like her growth with that character, especially for an animated character, especially in two shows that were essentially for kids, was so phenomenal. Like, just not even just the arc that she took her through, but just how, like, you really feel her going from a Padawan, like from a young girl to someone who's coming into herself through all of this struggle, through all of this alienation, through all of these, like, this trial and tribulation. And I want to make sure that she is honored every time we talk about this character. But yes, I immediately was met with a lot of, like, as I told you, people being like, what is this? This is the Sabine show. And they, because they have no connection to her. They don't know who, seeing Clancy Brown, like, was not exciting to them because they didn't know. Like, seeing the mural was not exciting.
Sure,
right.
They didn't know. Seeing the Lothcat, seeing Ezra's place, it was just, none of it was exciting because they didn't know. And for a lot of people, Ahsoka is someone they only know because they met her in The Mandalorian. And I would also say that, like, it's weird because as of right now, the way, like, the kind of flat way that Rosario is playing her, which I believe there's a reason for, like, kind of, it makes her, I think, a little bit impenetrable also, just as a character, to people who are just coming into it, who, like, she's giving nothing, she's giving no emotion. Like, that she's got some backstory with Sabine, a lot of which, like, there's a big gap because a lot of it is not even a continuation. It's just stuff that we're now that's kind of implied that happened between Rebels and now. But it is like, I thought that immediately. It didn't bother me because I'm, like, absolutely happy to continue from where we left off. But I thought, this is going to push people away. And then when I'm like, hey, did you watch it? It was kind of, the reaction was, what was that? Like, I don't know what's going on. And who is Sabine? Who are these people? Like, if it's supposed to stir up emotions in me, that's not happening.
That's fair. I completely get that, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I understand how someone could feel that way. And it's funny because I watched it with Katie's sister. So it was me, Katie, and her sister watching it. And she hadn't seen a thing of Rebels or Clone Wars. So I'm like, watch this Star Wars Explained video. Just so you feel, and then really, I pulled up the Rebels.
Star Wars Sex
Yes,
Plane?
was
this Scotty's
I pulled up
no,
the 10-minute Rebels in 10 minutes video. And I'm like, this is kind of what you need to know. So when she was watching it, she felt like she was a little bit more, obviously above what she was before. She would have watched it without knowing anything. So I completely get that. And that's a challenging thing. Let's be real. I really do find it to be particularly difficult with Star Wars now because there is a lot of stuff to get caught up on. But then again, if you know a show's coming out and you don't know who that person is, there's a wonderful tool. I'll show everyone. Give me a second.
Go and get that tool pulled up there. Yeah.
There's a tool in my pants. No, there's this wonderful
Let's see
tool.
it.
Jesus.
So wait, watch this. This is actually really sick.
Hold on. We gotta take a vote on this,
cool.
okay?
So
what is happening?
Who? Not Whiskey Creek
What?
Volleyball. Who is
What
Ahsoka?
the fuck is this?
And then you can go, wait a minute. Oh, wait, hold on. Ahsoka Tano, a Targruta female, was a Padawan learner of Anakin. Anakin had a Padawan? I don't believe this. Let's go to the data bank. And then boom. You've got
Seems like there's someone on a Star Wars sex
Wait a
plane
minute.
that does videos
This
about
person
this
was
stuff.
in The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and a couple of other shows. What's Tales of the Jedi? Like, I'm going to be real. There is a plethora. Look, this whole data bank entry is like canonical in terms of what sequences happen. So
listen, we know the internet. The internet, people love to do their own goddamn research.
Yeah.
So here you go. There.
And it's funny. And I won't fault anyone for
this is the best way to do your own research. Honestly, this is the best. This is the most safe way to do your own.
Hey,
research.
they said this guy's
is looking
name.
for
Who's this guy? Look at this blurry ass photo on StarWars.com's page.
They got
This is
some
on
rough photos.
StarWars.com. This is
Is Eli the admin for that
don't
page?
know.
What's going on?
But look, I mean,
Sorry, Eli.
thankfully, it's not like there isn't a fair share of research. And I said this earlier behind off the air. I said, when Maul was in Solo, that was the first time in a long time that was like, boom. Here's kind of a huge reference only a handful of y'all will get in the theaters. And Jerry, you said, didn't someone call you and they're like, hey, I thought he was dead. No. Oh, this takes place before the Phantom Menace.
No, I just had heard people talking about they're like, oh, so this is before the first one, right? Right? It's like no.
Well, here's
It's
the thing though. Not everybody wants to do the research because
That's
they're
true.
just the general audience, and not everybody has a Jerry or a Regan or a Scotty to ask the questions. So literally yesterday, I was driving with my family for my sister's birthday, and my stepdad goes, "So, could X-wings go into hyperspace or no?" And I'm like, we are the Wikipedia. We are the Star Wars databank to them.
Yeah.
The walking
So
Wikipedia.
not
yes.
everybody is going to do that, and they do need to be clued in a little bit. So I don't know. It's hard because I'm also selfish, and I wasn't thinking about anybody but myself when going into the show. I was like,
Same.
oh yay, we're doing Rebels again. The gang's getting back together, But I'm glad that was brought up because I'm sure it can feel a little bit odd, and kind of like Reagan said with Rosario's flat performance, it's like, go off, girl, give us nothing. Like, what did she give us in The Mandalorian? She didn't give us a ton. So for people just introduced to her, the most exciting thing is probably that she was Anakin's Padawan, but they're also probably like, what the fuck? Like, Anakin didn't have a Padawan. So I'm sure it helps to know these things, but at least for me, when I take my selfish glasses off, I was like, and we talked about this off air briefly, but like the first episode, part 1, Master and Apprentice, I felt did a good job of, even if it didn't give the backstory to the characters and what they had been through or how they got to where they were, it at least gave you a vibe about who they were. Like Sabine's the kind of rebel, like Ahsoka's this Jedi, which, I am no Jedi, whatever. We can argue about that all day. Hera's the rebel leader. Like, I at least feel like those archetypes were portrayed, and we kind of got a sense of who everybody was. But yeah, those emotional moments that hit for us, but for other people, it was like, here's a mural of these people I've never seen, and
Well, boy, they look like cartoon characters. Man. What's going on? No, it's and again, we do watch these things. Like I tweeted last night, like it was like that picture of Harrison Ford pouring alcohol at some crazy psychedelic party, and it was like me watching Star Wars, or was it a reference heavy Star Wars. Me not worrying about Star Wars show being reference heavy because I watch Star Wars. But you can say all that kind of stuff because I'm a nerd and all that kind of stuff. But what do we love more than people asking us what the fuck is going on?
And getting to talk about it and just go off.
I agree.
But
yes, exactly.
I do feel like the difference now also is that I think there's just a twinge of bitterness because I think there's so much crossover between Star Wars and Marvel, and I think people are getting, like, people who are casual but like pay for a Disney Plus subscription. I think there's just a little bit of exhaustion of often having to watch shows that weren't all that good, Secret Invasion, just to kind of like just because that you'll be missing things if you don't.
Sure. Do you think it could have benefited from like the Kenobi prequel entrance that the Disney Plus viewers got? I think it really could have, because that was a wildly good edit that we got with that. Like, I really do think it could have been a.
Why didn't they do something?
Because it was animation.
That would have really benefited.
Because it was animation. They weren't going to put animation. People are going to be like, "What is this? I'm not watching that. What the hell was this shit?"
Yeah, it's it sounds ridiculous, but I do know so many people who are just like
cartoon.
I can't do cartoons.
Well, a lot of people, like I've heard it said,
some people have that expiration date.
That like if this were any other show, even though they don't like to do that, they could have used there were places where a flashback would have fit really well, but you just couldn't do it because it was animation. So
oh my god, imagine if they tried to pull that off.
That'd be wild. So I wanted to ask y'all this before we get into the meat and potatoes of this particular discussion. What did y'all think of the Tuesday night drops? Because I, for one, fucking loved it. I was
okay. Apologies to the UK. I know the UK people are like, "Oh, we used to have this," but now
Sorry.
It is time. It is time for the it's the tea party time, baby.
It's time.
Not that tea party.
It is time for the East Coast to be able to watch before midnight, baby.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Damn straight.
It's so wonderful.
Listen, I'm gonna miss getting up at 3 a.m. to watch it before I go to my 6 a.m.
But
job.
you know what? Like I would, especially I think with Book of Boba Fett more than anything, and like this most recent season of The Mandalorian, I really had to get through the first watch tired angriness and like realizing I didn't hate it. I was just exhausted. Like I just watched it really tired.
Oh man.
You're not angry at the show. You're angry that people online spoil
exactly.
it.
Hell,
like immediately after
people you're in group chats with just
and then go on Twitter. What does everyone do when they wake up? It's 2023, you idiot. Like, come on.
See, that's my thing too. Like when this would drop, obviously at the 2 a.m. time in Louisiana, I was like, I knew I'd wake up and Kay and I would have coffee and we'd watch it together. And it was always kind of a cool experience. This, however, she was really tired after a day at school and a day at work. And she was like, it can't be an hour and a half every week. It's not going to be. So it'll be more bearable for some people that really probably did have a long ass day, then have to stay up till 8 or 9 o'clock to watch a show. You know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's like a double-edged sword. Because I like the mornings, but I also really like being able to, like, text all y'all. Be like, all right, y'all, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And then once it's done, be like, what? And just blow each other up.
Man. You have my phone number. You have my phone number. I didn't get a text.
Oh, well, you get one now, Regan. So
you go watch out. You know what you've just unleashed.
You're gonna text from Paul.
I'm in at least 2 groups with this man. You know how many texts I get from Scotty J-Ro alone?
It's sickening. But no, I thought it was great to have it happen then. And I think the show, for the most part, even though it was kind of a slow start, and we finally made it past the Rebels epilogue, I think to me, I think that the premiere did meet my expectations, but I'm genuinely excited from here on out.
Yes,
what we're gonna get. I think you had to sit through those 2 episodes as super fans like us to kind of just be like, okay, here we are. Now here's the whole drive of the show starting next week and all the way until October. I don't know. I think the premiere did do a lot for me, you know?
You know what's crazy though? We got a whole character transformation with Sabine in our 2 episodes, which just in 2 episodes, it was like, all right, our character's in a new place. Let's go on our journey. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
It was good.
I love that it was just as big as a part of Sabine's story too. Like I wasn't expecting to play such a pivotal role. Like honestly, she kind of stole it, you know. And I can see why Regan, whoever told you that, like I don't know, why should I care about Sabine? You know, like now you see where she's at.
Did you not watch what we just watched? I'm sorry.
You know what though? I have to just point out. It was just something that I noticed that like so I felt like Sabine transitioned her cartoon, her animation personality that like really well into live action. Like she wasn't as, but like she still had that pluckiness. And I get that, you know, Ahsoka's been through some stuff. I also know that she's much older now, and like I get it, and I get that Ashley's portrayal again was very, you know, and you can't it doesn't necessarily translate into live action. But watching Sabine made me just wish Rosario brought a little more personality to the table. But I think that there's a reason for that will be revealed later on. So
it does feel like she's a little more guarded at this time, right? Like it does. And in the show, you kind of get a little bit of there's a little bit of an explanation in the whole, you know, her relationship with Sabine and everything. It seems like she's playing those cards really close to the vest.
There's little highlights of it though. Like specifically when they're in the temple at the beginning and she's turning the thing and she gives like a little smirk when she figures out the first kind of puzzle. And I was like, that's Ahsoka. Like there's these little moments like that. And like Reagan said, I agree. I think there's a meaning. It's also kind of really true to her Rebels character. Rewatching Rebels, Ahsoka is very calm and collected, other than when dealing with the Anakin stuff. But and was out in a little bit of this. It's a lot of it's a lot of that. And I hate to admit it because I want Rosario to do better, but it is really true to the Rebels Ahsoka. So
But I agree.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I think we will get that inevitably. I think we will get a more animated, more alive character.
Well, I wonder, since you know Rex is showing up, I wonder if that's going to bring something out of her.
That'd be awesome. I would love that.
That would very much, that would warrant kind of old snips coming back. You know.
So I
know.
I wanted to kind of propel into this first episode, which had one of the coolest intros of all time. It has and we had a chance to talk about it, the red crawl moment, which is amazing, with the 4 ellipses, which is a very incredible reference. And then most importantly, it was this. So I have this all throughout the show notes. We could talk about it ad nauseum later. But this movie, this was like very Phantom Menace. The whole 2-episode arc was ridiculously Phantom Menace. And it's funny, when I first watched them, I was so overwhelmed by everything. I didn't enjoy it in the moment as much as I thought I did, but I rewatched both episodes leading up to this, obviously this conversation, and I love them. This will be my most rewatched show because of the nuances, because of the flavor, and because of even the subtle lines that sound like lines from other projects, which is Dave is known for, to drop banger lines. But that being said, however, that opening crawl and Balin and a Shin, just, oh my God, like them stepping off the ship, having an old Jedi code. I don't know.
The Clone Wars ship,
yes, the Clone Wars airship.
Oh yeah, well, like even like after the crawl and it does the woo, like down.
Like
to
I
the,
literally
that was
threw
cool.
my phone, and I was just like, "That's Star Wars!" Like it was just like it. You know, and I know Scotty
so
more
cool.
than anybody knows this, but like
Yes.
that feeling that you have in the theater. Just in that moment after the crawl stops and everything is about to happen and you see the starfield and you see the ship, it was that heart palpitation, it was that excitement.
I was so,
because back in the day when it's a saga film, you're going to the theater seeing a new saga film, you're like, what are we gonna pan down to?
What are they gonna
like, that's
throw
like
us
my
into?
thought. It's like, what are that's your immediate thought. And it felt from that opening sequence, it felt like I said it this way too. And again, like, you guys know this is Bombadcast. We love fucking everything. Everyone hates us for it. It's fine. But it felt like the way George did Star Wars back then. And I don't say that in a fanboy, girls can't like Star Wars or whatever kind of woke wham way. I'm saying it in a it felt true to the DNA of what I loved when I finally when my parents took me to see the special editions. And I just like absolutely it washed over me, and I was just baptized in the fire of this shit. That's what watching these felt like
in red. Can I read the crawl to y'all?
Well, not just the score, but I mean, like, that whole opening sequence, man, was like, I was like, this is the most exciting saga-esque stuff we've had. It felt saga. It felt like the saga.
Scotty, can you do it in an Admiral Yularen voice, like it's the beginning of the Clone Wars episode?
Admiral Yularen. Yeah, I'll do it. Ready?
Oh, Admiral Yularen.
Here we go. The evil can't do it. I can do it as Paul Stanley. Here we go.
I can do it as Kermit.
Let me do it as Paul Stanley just to freak Regan out. Here we go. The evil galactic empire has fallen, and the new republic has risen to take its place, people. However, the sinister agents are already at work to undermine the fragile peace, people. A plot is underway to find the lost Imperial Grand Admiral throne and bring him out of exile. Once presumed dead, rumors are spreading of Thrawn's return, which would galvanize the Imperial remnants and start another war. Former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano captured one of Thrawn's allies and learned of a secret map which is files the enemy's plan. People, Ahsoka now searches for the maps of her prisoner, Morgan Elsbeth, is transported to the New Republic for trial. Ellipses. ... There we go. That was the opening crawl read by Paul Stanley.
That was a passionate rendition.
I hope
it was very.
But that opening crawl was so sick.
I saw a tear going down Stan's face. Actually,
did Stan come on screen? Is Stan here? Let's see.
Did you not see Stan?
He showed up. He's like, "I'm here. Cut that shit out." Talk about Star Wars. Fucking Stan. No, I thought that crawl was incredible. I was not expecting it. I didn't think it was going to be in red, and I love that it wasn't the golden crawl. I love that it was its own thing. It felt like Dave, like, last minute put it in like Adobe Premiere. It was like, okay, how do I? Okay, last minute, just like, we'll just let it crawl this way.
Well, I might be totally wrong about this, but I thought, if I remember correctly, the first edition of Heir to the Empire wasn't like it was the back of the book. Everything was red. I thought maybe that's. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think so.
I was gonna say, let's fact check it, because if it's
I
right,
might be wrong.
it's gonna be so good.
I have an edition where everything is red on the back, so I thought maybe that's why he did it.
It also kind of reminded me of when they would change the Clone Wars like intro title screen, where they'd have the yellow or the red or the blue. And I think the red was for like Maul episodes, but it's also like dark sidey, and we're kind of in a bit of there's a bit of a dark plot going on in this series. So
yeah,
there is a smidge. Isn't there?
It was honestly a pretty heavy entrance in terms of where we were going. I don't see red, but they do have a crawl on the back of it that I did not know.
Yeah,
there is a synopsis.
Yes.
Okay.
But
okay,
I might, my edition might be.
So Regan, the font for the first one was Star Wars. It was the Star Wars logo in red. Maybe that's really sick. Actually, I love that because it's a subtle way to I don't know, tie it all together. So yeah, no, the opening crawl that sent me over. I'm going to be honest. That was so excited having an opening crawl, and I really do think it's important to kind of bring that back, because I think a lot of people, like you said, the casual fans are going to be like, oh, okay, we're looking for this person for this reason. This is why. And it was funny. Like, did y'all enjoy the whole Nether map thing? Because we had the map from The Force Awakens. We have the map and God, what's the other one? Force Awakens. It was 3 things. Force Awakens. Rise of Skywalker, and now this.
Funny thing about getting around a giant galaxy, you kind of need maps.
No, I agree.
And stuff.
I agree.
Kind of thing like that.
I agree.
I know.
No.
I know.
And I mean, you want to take it even Knights of the Old Republic. They're going and finding all these star maps to get to where they need to go. It's a Star Wars thing.
Yeah, it is definitely a Star Wars thing.
Well, I will say that it worked because I told one of our chats and stuff, and I'll say it here. I showed my kiddo the first episode today, and we were for the rest of the time playing like we were going through a temple, figuring out moves and things like that to find the maps and stuff. And so the maps, it's working for the generation it's supposed to.
Maps by the yeahs. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was really cool to obviously, and we'll talk about it in a second, for them to be going to another galaxy. That gave me a Star Wars boner. I'm just saying. That's the kind of stuff I live for with Star Wars lore. But I want to bring this up. How many of y'all really enjoyed watching Ahsoka be in the Fifth Element? Because I really enjoyed Ahsoka doing her Fifth Element. Have you seen the Fifth Element, Scotty, or no?
Can you tell by my face it's a no?
No. Because the whole Fifth Element, the idea is they bring these stones together, which then unlocks like, I guess a god to save the universe. But like this is almost the opposite, where it's Ahsoka like setting up, then to find a map. It was so much like Fifth Element. Like everything rising up the ground, and then it's lowering.
It's Indiana Jones. It's Fallen Order. Like,
yes.
Well, I was gonna say, like, it felt more Fallen Order, Indiana Jones to me personally.
Man.
But again, I haven't seen Fifth Element as much as Scotty over here, even though I do. It is a good movie.
I love that movie. Lulu Dallas Multipass. No, I was really, really excited to see Ahsoka be quiet and contemplative because with Mandalorian, which I love. You don't get that many quiet moments, or you get a lot of quiet moments, but it's more suspenseful. This was like, what's she cooking? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? And then the movement and God, that was so cool.
It was even a bit like talking about Fallen Order and Survivor. She was hearing voices and stuff as she was kind of like listening and like feeling things through the Force. And I'm like, this is almost like a little bit of a Force echo here. Like, I know it's not psychometry or anything intense like that, but like she's getting some kind of vibe through the Force. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like the element that the Mandalorian kind of lacked is that even though Grogu is a Force user, like the mystery of his Force is only a mystery mostly to the other characters. But I think in the whole of Star Wars, the Force is in and of itself the most interesting character, and it's and I feel like I felt that sense of just like the kind of mythos, that the original saga gave me, and just has been kind of absent from streaming.
Yes,
that's true.
We have the Force back. That's what I feel like. It's like it's back. We've got some funky Force stuff.
And it's weird because Kenobi did that, but with Kenobi, you were messing with a character that is a huge legacy character that has huge implications for what we knew about Vader and Obi-Wan. Whereas Ahsoka right now, kind of a clean slate, you can kind of do whatever you want with this character, have her be kind of quiet and to herself, but also have her be, exploring things we never got to see in Star Wars, like another galaxy or even Night Sister Tipples, which is just so damn cool. And even explore things like that like not just in animation, but in live action. So that being said, we got that huge cool battle, whack-a-mole for a second. That was pretty sick. It brings him down. She jumps up. The self-destruct was amazing. But how did Jerry, you can go off, my king. What did you think of Hu Yang's return? Because one of Jerry's favorite characters for years has always been Hu Yang. What did you think of it?
I don't know. There's something, ever since I saw Hu Yang in the Clone Wars, I was always so like, why don't we get any more of this character? This character is so damn cool. And he gets his arms shot off and his head and stuff. And like he spends most of the episode walking torso, most of that arc at walking torso. And the whole time I'm like, this is a droid that's been around for like
Ever.
thousands of years, helped Yoda build his lightsaber, and you just go bring him in for like 4 episodes, like, all right, we're done. And I forget what episode it was that I did. I was like, I want him in live action. And whenever we saw that screenshot at Celebration, holy
A
shit.
surprise, to
I
be
was
sure,
losing-
but a welcome one.
Oh, welcome.
Mike Murphy,
for sure.
you asked the Canon Junkie. Canon Junkie, you have to answer it now. Why does he?
Does he Yang blink?
Yeah, why does no? Why?
Why does he
'Cause
blink?
does.
To keep his photoreceptors from drying
okay,
out.
cool.
I mean,
Good
what
to
the
know.
hell?
Good to know.
No, yeah, it's just droids sometimes can have like sometimes they put really human features randomly on something. I kind of love that because like some droids have been having the blinkiness in the newer stuff. And it didn't K2SO kind of have that?
I think so, yeah.
A little
think
bit.
so.
He had a little bit of that. But like I will say Hugh Yang's eyes are more expressive.
Ugh.
Like he does like top and bottom.
Well,
he's
he's
like
got-
you
got
can
a lot
tell
of
what
David
emotion he
Tennant's
has.
Ticks, like they animated
Yeah.
originally like his facial ticks, and it just carried over.
Oh man.
Right.
I love that it was a
Yeah,
real
no, but-
robot too, and you can tell they had it at I think Comic-Con,
He
one of
looks
the
so
events,
good. Great.
and like he like was a real practical effect. And I'm like, that is just so nice to have. God.
And it just the comedy with Hugh Yang's pitch perfect and everything. Like I'm waiting to see if we get him at all cutting loose
I
in
hope
this
so.
because he did like some kickboxing in the Clone
Uh-huh.
Wars, right? When he was again a walking torso. So hopefully he doesn't have to lose all his arms and legs. I would like to see him cut loose just as him. But like, yeah, like, oh yes, 75% original parts. I love Hugh Yang.
And just the knock that Ahsoka does on him when she's like, I didn't follow the Jedi, whatever she said, just
yes,
it's just like, oh, that was bad, but you get the gist.
right. No. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it's just their relationship is cool. I love that we didn't know this, but Hugh Yang is Ahsoka's pal now, and they're just hanging out.
Buddies.
That's her C-3PO, and I'm like, I'm loving it because again, it makes you feel like you kind of get sad for Ahsoka, like she's lost everybody, but at the same time, like she's made these connections with people over the years that she's found again.
I
and
did have to
just
wonder
it's really
if
cool.
the same people who were like, "Why is this the Sabine show?" Like, I had to wonder if they saw Hu Yang and were like, "Why is it yet another fussy British droid?" Like, what?
Yes, but this one has a little half cape kind of thing. On his legs.
I like the little half
He's
cape.
cool.
Me too.
I do too. But nothing like an ass cape. We love an
We
ass
love a
cape.
good ass
all right?
cape here, y'all. The kids are big fans of those too, by the way. So here I am watching this, and I did not expect.
It's like tying your
I did not expect
windbreaker
Ryder
around your legs
Ryder
in high
Azadi to
school.
show up. That was pretty wild,
Oh, God.
and for it to be freaking
Clancy
Brown.
The bell.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
so from day one, whenever I saw Ryder Azadi, I
You're
heard
like,
that it was Clancy
yeah.
Brown because I've known Clancy Brown like again since what like he
He's
was
in
in
Highlander.
well, first of all, he's in Highlander. He's Mr. Krabs. He was he was
Savage
in.
Opress?
Yes, he
Yes.
is Savage.
He's Savage, but he's several Star Wars characters. But the thing that I remembered him from as like his physical presence was Lost, which I watched back in the early 2000s as it was coming out.
Lost.
Right, he was a guest star a couple times on that. So when I saw the character model back when Rebels came out and knew it was Clancy Brown, I'm saying no one's gonna believe me. I guaranteed if he ever is in live action, they're gonna have Clancy
There
Brown
we
play
go. We got it.
because it's him.
So good.
The moan that issued like the guttural like whenever it was Clancy Brown in live action as Ryder Azadi.
I'm also just gonna
Holy
throw
shit.
in, if you like Google Clancy Brown from the 80s, he's got some photo shoots that I have some complicated.
Oh, is he
Oh.
was he big and hot?
He was
Uh-oh.
like
Ooh, we'll be googling those later.
I mean,
I'm looking at that right now.
he's still got it.
Clancy Brown
Book
80s?
Book it. He's still got it right now.
So I had to look at Clancy Brown 80s photo shoot.
just like or Clancy Brown young.
Oh, okay, I'll do that.
Like so Clancy, but I mean, the Ryder Azadi reveal, I think, was like just we know we're gonna get stuff like this as this series goes on.
Yeah.
But to get that, like, to not really expect Ryder Azadi to show up.
So let's
and just to have him there. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, he's got it.
Beautiful man, like beautiful man.
Chiseled.
This is Mr. Krabs.
No, wait. Let's talk about this because I think it's interesting. Would you consider Ryder Azadi to be a cameo? Because I don't think so. Because he's a huge part of Rebels.
Not a cameo because he's the governor of that planet.
I guess
He's integral to
it
Rebels.
Depends on it. It depends on how he continues in this story.
Sure, but to me, a cameo. If I'm going to be at all honest with you, as much as I love the Lizzo and Jack Black scene, those were two people that could have been casted as anybody else that wasn't an A-list celebrity. That to me is the bleeding essence of a cameo, and they did have a good role. Don't get me wrong, but it would be one thing if it was like Chris Pratt and he's like, I'm Ryder Azadi. You're like,
you could consider maybe more Jaikel as being a cameo, but at the same time, these were two characters that were important.
The Battle of Lothal.
They were integral in the Battle of Lothal. They were important to Ezra as a character. Both of those characters. I was more like, honestly, they hit you with the 1-2 punch. We get Ryder Azadi, and then he goes, and I knew that. I already knew this guy, this comedian, who was coming up and everything from Platonic on Apple TV. I don't know if anyone's watched it. It's fantastic. The Seth Rogen show. This guy was on there, and I was like, oh, hey, it's that. I love him. And he gets up there and he's like, Senator Jaikel. And I about fell off my effing couch. It was like, no way. Perfect casting.
I didn't know.
And it just like
I didn't know that the governor was Ryder Azadi until Jaikel was like, thank you, Governor Azadi. And then I had my moment because
you're like,
yeah.
what?
Then I was like, oh my God. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. See, and I think the word cameo.
Clancy's voice is burned into my brain.
I think the word cameo is very interesting because, like, sure, while that can be a character you can call a cameo, and you never know, Ryder may show up later in the season for whatever reason, but like Ryder plays such an important role in seasons 2 and 3. I'm sorry, 3 and 4 of Rebels. So like, I don't know, like cameo for casuals, but expected for us for him to be a governor again. And we'll see, that was the one big criticism of Mandalorian, obviously, was cameo. Like, fair, I get it. You can have your opinions on it, but at the same exact time, it doesn't make the show any less important than any other show. It doesn't degrade any quality of another show just because it has, maybe more cameos than you would expect cameos, more appearances from other celebrities or more appearances from other actors and actresses.
Dave kind of has that catalog of characters that he knows, like, instead of like, let's create a character that is this, he's like, oh, we already have this character over here. And they could make it.
But I do feel like I suspect that we are going to get a lot of like, oh my gosh, and then for people like, I don't want to use the word casuals because it seems a little funny, but like, I feel like it's either going to be like, it is someone recognizable enough to them that they'll be like, oh, cameo, or they're going to have an understanding that they should be excited about this person, but with no context as to why,
I feel like that's what makes a good cameo. If we get excited, but it doesn't draw like away from the rest of what's going on. But for us sweaties, like that's
like Keller and Beck, not a cameo. You know what I mean? Huge.
Well, Keller and
huge part of Grogu's story now. So
I cried over that.
Of course.
When I rewatched before Ahsoka, I teared up whenever he pops up. It's so beautiful. Quick story about watching things with not like casuals, like filthy casuals like my family, and stuff at home. I remember watching the episode with of Mando where him and why am I blanking on Bill Burr's character's name? When they infiltrate the Rhydonium, Mayfeld, him and Mayfeld are going there, and you have Boba pick them up, right? whenever they're making their escape and the TIE fighters are chasing the fire spray, whatever you want to call it, and they drop
the charge.
When he drops the seismic charge, I lost my goddamn mind in front of my casual family, who again love all this stuff. They love Star Wars, Marvel, all this stuff, but they aren't consumed by it like me. I was standing up like someone watching sports, like by their TV, which their TV's already like 10 feet off the ground for some reason. But so I got like right up there. It's like, no, yes. And they're like, just like, we're just glad he's having fun.
That's how I felt.
Kind of a thing.
That's how I felt whenever we had Morgan Elsbeth use green, witch magic, which was that's a whole other thing for later.
Green witch fire.
That's a whole other thing for later.
Gas magic as fart magic as Michael McBoy.
Who else really enjoyed the post-punk Sabine Wren entrance on the speeder? Yes, Scotty. Scotty, how'd you feel about that whole entire moment? Because that was, to me, that was very Kirk. Captain Kirk, Star Trek 2009, and I was like, "This is sick! No one's gonna stop her from coming." Oh man, it was so good. What do you think, Scotty?
Yeah, it was so perfect. It felt quintessential Sabine, and like we talked about this before, but like down to like the chipped nail polish, like it was perfection. The music, so good. Like I would put that on one of my Star Wars playlists, maybe even like just one of those playlists I listen to while I'm scripting. It was so good.
It reminded me. I was trying to think of it before. Like the music reminded me a lot of Shonen Knife. I don't know if any of you guys have ever listened to Shonen Knife, but that's what it reminded me of. But yeah, I loved it. I know. I made the mistake of looking at Twitter shortly after it, and exactly the people that you think would have hated that so much.
Why did they hate it?
They didn't play Fallen Order.
I don't know.
It's Space Paramore.
Yeah.
Come on.
And I met who like Haley Williams would be so perfect in Star Wars. But
I would die.
Well,
I've been in love with her since high school.
I also love that Sabine's hair was grown out to the point where like the tips were orange still, but the roots were like that dark purple. So you're watching it and you're like, this is someone who obviously has been going through something, This character hasn't had time to treat themselves right. The chipped, fingernail polish. Yes, yeah. Painted nail moment. Exactly, Mike. But no, I agree. Like this may be the first one we get like real painted and chipped nails in Star Wars.
It feels like
I love how they're like, all right, Sabine, you got to go back to that thing, knowing damn well that we weren't going to have that opportunity for her to go back and speak of the thing. But I love how she kills the speeder bike just to go underneath it. That was a E-wing, I believe.
Yeah.
And then just kicks it back on and keeps going.
I mean, it completely fits too with her like I don't give a fuck personality. Like I'm gonna do me, and that's exactly what she did. She said, "I ain't speaking at that lame ass celebration. I'm going home. Like you can't stop me." It was perfect.
God, and it felt huge too, And if like Regan, you were saying you had people that didn't know who these characters were. I feel like that's a really good way to like sell who this character is.
Oh yeah, you definitely felt the essence of her, even if you knew absolutely nothing about her. And I think that's kind of all you needed to really understand what was going on in the episode, in my opinion. But but yeah, I feel like you got the sense that that like she was still she still had her pluck, and she still had like her independence, and she still had her spirit, but like she's clearly immediately this character's been through some shit. Sorry, I don't know here. And
I was gonna say I've been saying really bad words. Should I stop?
Say what you want, please.
Fuck you guys.
But I think it informs everything else. She like all of the rest of her behavior. In the episode. But and I thought she was just so true. Like she did. She was so true to the character, and so she was perfectly cast. Like,
that's a hard thing to nail. That's a hard thing to nail too. To like translate an animated character in live action, and a character that's very much beloved. I couldn't imagine that task, and like to still have that Mandalorian badassery. You know what I mean? Like to still be a proficient martial artist on top of having to act through all of that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so impressive. And the fact that she's got a loft cat, which is really, really cool.
Oh
And
my God.
and it's so practical. I was so blown away by how practical it was. That was a real puppet there. That thing was amazing looking.
But I was, as someone who is a little bit like I like cats and dogs. I've been more of a cat person in recent years. It felt so true, like it that felt so real to like a real cat. It just was. It was kind of surreal seeing a loft cat look like a real life cat. It was.
It
really
did
cool.
the big stretch,
Really cool.
like everybody see the cat's like big stretch, and it was just
when she's petting it while it's eating it, the back goes with the hand as it like kind of goes up. That melted my heart.
My friend made the joke that it was really nice to see a loft cat that wasn't a grown man with ears on and no deodorant at a convention.
Wait, that's amazing. I love that. That's incredible.
Well, how did they see me and Scotty's next cosplay at the next?
not me,
festival?
Scotty. That one.
Yes.
No. This one. You've got something even better. Don't worry. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. We'll add the deodorant. We'll add the deodorant to the mix.
No, I thought it was really cool that we had the opportunity to actually get because we got in the Mandalorian. You know, we got a loft cat Mandalorian. We even had it in Dave's episode, chapter 13, as like a little cameo in the back alley. You know, Bombadcast has its own loft cat too. For those that don't know, Stan is a big fan of being a loft cat. Live on air. So there's Stan. There's Stan. Looking.
Me when I take my makeup off at the end of the night.
Before the night starts, after the night kicks in.
No, the cigarette me post.
Stan actually.
There it is. There it is.
Stan actually projects that mentally.
Yeah, he does.
Onto his face. It's kind of he's
Stan.
intruding into your thoughts when he does that.
Yeah.
We'll get back to it. Sorry, bud.
Sorry, here I am watching this, and we get that Ezra hologram, and like we had seen it so many times in the trailer that I didn't realize it was going to be a personal message to Sabine, which is really cool. The fact that he got a little secret one sent, in canon, obviously, but this was perfect for the show because then it gets everyone caught up on who Ezra is. So you've got so many threads that are already being dropped, like. Okay, this, like, yes. What do you want to say, Regan?
Sorry, it's just this is a good point for me to say that I don't know if you noticed it, but I did feel like every time like Ezra was mentioned or every time they were kind of like just talking about something that happened that was sort of important to know, there was just a little bit of like weird unnecessary exposition, like if you didn't know why they were doing it, and a lot of weird pauses to sort of like give you time to digest it, and it felt a little bit awkward, and it was just most noticeable with any time they spoke about Ezra or his sis or like anything,
Yep.
Ooh, like a buzzword, Ezra.
Well, it's funny because Hera,
everyone just goes.
Hera thought he was dead. Like Thrawn died the Battle of Thal, which then means by proxy that she thought Ezra was also dead. Right. So I'm like, that's interesting. Like, but obviously that may be just for casual fans to be like, oh, get caught up. Maybe Hera really doesn't think that, but like the fact that she vocalized it was super interesting to me. And then that whole hologram was kind of beautiful. The line that made me tear up was, "We grew up in the rebellion together." I was like, damn, like they had to grow up from being, I don't know the age difference. Maybe it's like 2 years, but like you can just tell by the end of Rebels, like they had. I don't know if it's so much brother and sister because I wonder if it's anything more. I can't really tell. It doesn't feel like brother and sister to me. Feels like I have a little crush on Sabine. Kind of.
Yeah, it always felt like inconsequentially
beginning,
romantic.
Yes,
but now I kind of agree that maybe it's distance makes the heart grow fonder. Like
dude, I'm telling you, Jared predicted this. He might have said this on your stream with him, Scotty. But Jared predicted that when we see Ezra, which I think is inevitable in some capacity, he's going to look like Kanan. And then it's going to be like, oh, shit, like ponytailed up, beard, like he's not looking like the little boy with long hair or the buzz cut anymore.
I'm not fucking ready for this, okay? That's going to goddamn destroy me.
I just hope he has a different jacket. Please don't let him wear that.
And you know what?
He's gonna be chopping wood like that comics panel of Han Solo. when they're on the
shirtless.
farm planet.
Ooh.
Remember that?
Yeah, or give him a slutty tank top like Cal Kestis and Survivor. like-
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. We were talking
There
to
you
Trey
go.
about it, and Trey's like, I can't believe they pulled off the goofy ass Ezra orange shirt, like outfit. I can't believe they pulled it off because they did. It didn't look bad in that hologram.
looked
It
good,
looked pretty
yeah.
good in that hologram. But man, I thought it was so cool to have them reunite Sabine and Sabine and Ahsoka and have it be super awkward.
Oh my
I
god.
actually loved that shit because I'm like sitting there like reveling and I'm like, what happened? Like, what caused Ahsoka to come back immediately after the World Between Worlds or between? And we'll get answers, I'm sure. But like, I was just blown away by the whole, in not calling each other who they were, didn't acknowledge master or apprentice. Like, ooh, like that was you could feel the tension.
Seems like something's gone down, and you almost wonder because, like, if they're assuming that Ezra is dead in Rebels, when he says he's like, I can't wait for y'all to come find me. I can't wait for you to bring me home. How long did they spend looking for him?
Oh yeah, that's fair. And
they couldn't find him, only to find out now he's not even in this galaxy.
One of my weird theories.
Think about that.
Because remember how like we're not getting Ahsoka the White, we got the Rebels like epilogue, but we got it different in the show. One of my original theories was like maybe what we saw in the epilogue was like the first search, and it didn't go well, and now we're trying it again, and that's why there's all this drama because it didn't go right. Stuff didn't happen.
Interesting.
That's an interesting theory. I like that.
See, that's the thing. And I don't know if it's because Dave has the ability to retcon his own stories, but the whole Ahsoka the White stuff, I'm very interested to see how that plays out with this show. Because I think it has to show that Ahsoka has resolve. Because clearly at this point, Ahsoka has no resolve. She is still a lost soul trying to, obtain stuff. Oh, look at this. That's hilarious. No, I love that there was an awkward moment and you had to have Hu Yang be like, okay, I'm gonna walk the hell out of here while they figure this out. But no, I love that they sit down, they have that talk. Sabine sees her old, her old bed, her old little flat, and then they sit down, they're talking about pretty much I guess what the situation is. And I love when they got up to go, when Ahsoka got up to go talk to Hu Yang, that Hu Yang already figured out the lightsabers. That shit was so cool from the holograms. Oh my god.
I love him he's like going, she's like, can you get to the point? And he's like, hold on, this is where it gets interesting. Yeah, like
my best friend said that's
so
you. Me talking to her about some crazy Star Wars theory, and she's like, you are Hu Yang right now. I was like, yeah, you're right.
He's Balin, man.
But wait, it gets better.
Man, we didn't bring this up earlier. I kind of sped past. I'm sorry, but the fact that they dropped the word Night Sisters in this show,
right?
That was nuts because that shows.
That whole basic Temple City
Yeah.
was a Night Sisters city.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Right?
But can I just say, if I was already as a you can't see the rest of my apartment, but I have Bruce Lee everywhere.
Yeah.
Diana Lee Inosanto is the daughter of Dan Inosanto, who is the protege and best friend of Bruce Lee. She is Bruce Lee's goddaughter. So not only is she now a major player in Star Wars, but she's a fucking space witch.
Yeah.
I screamed. I absolutely screamed.
I stan Morgan Elspeth now.
So cool.
Like,
me too.
I'm behind it.
She's fucking
But I
awesome.
love that Morgan Elsbeth.
That whole crew.
That
This whole
whole
crew
crew's
feels like the
sick.
most. This feels like the most iconic group of new bads that we've gotten in a minute. Besides, aside from Reva was like a really she felt instantly iconic as well. But just this to have a crew of bad guys.
You
they
never get
immediately
that.
I already am I'm already Moff Gideon.
Yeah,
You know what? I feel
exactly.
like
What the
also
fuck? I honestly
we're seeing how much that Star Wars, I honestly feel has grown and changed with the time, because at the time of the original saga, when we were still in the Cold War, although arguably we still are right now, it was much easier for people to believe a very polarized big bad. And even though, Anakin has his redemption at the end, I feel like pretty much with the exception of Gideon, every bad that we've gotten in Star Wars has a lot more nuance
There
than
you
we're
go.
ever used to. Like there is an understanding like that the audience knows that you don't just become a bad person
Mm-hmm.
by chance. It is like
Yeah.
a culmination of events in your life. There are things that happen to you, and Star Wars knows that we want to know why. We don't want to just know that you're a villain. We're interested in what made you who you are. So
Yes.
it's given us these
Yeah, tell us what makes you tick.
and I think like, you know, to that end, like to see Balin and Shin with the not quite entirely red lightsabers is fascinating, because you like, does that mean that there's still like, you know, they didn't bleed the crystal the entire way? Like is there still a pull to the light? Is there internal conflict? What's going on? You know, like
In the second episode when he's like almost mourning the fact that the Jedi, there's so few Jedi. It's like, what the fuck is your deal?
Yeah, no, I think it's important to acknowledge that too.
What are you, Balin?
Because you've got Morok,
Say
who
it.
is a former Inquisitor.
Yes, say
Morok,
it.
a former Inquisitor who was hired by Thrawn or Morgan Elsbeth.
Oh,
You
my
got-
husband, my
Oh
boyfriend.
my god, I love how he
Oh,
moves.
yes.
So
Oh, yes.
then you've got Balin and Shin, and I'm watching these things play out, and it's been the first time in a long time where I'm like actually compelled by a dark side user, not because of their power, but because of their mystique. Like, where is Balin from, y'all? Like, what makes Balin who Balin is? And then Shin, you know, I don't know if y'all noticed this. I brought this up in one of my notes. There's a lot of Phantom Menace references, but this feels so much like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in the Phantom Menace. Anytime like Shin gets told to do something by Morgan Elsbeth, she looks straight to her master, and he's like, "You're good to go." Like that's exactly what Obi-Wan would do to Qui-Gon, and you're seeing a really weird inverse. And with the Padawan braid, so cool to get that back in live action. And I'm watching it thinking like, I want to know so much more about them. I could care less about like some of the other things that play. Like Thrawn's amazing and all. I can't wait to get Thrawn.
Yeah.
But like this dynamic, I want to spend a whole episode with them like just talking. Oh, it's so weird.
Well, like the parallel, like the Darth Maul parallel,
Yep.
even when he sends out the probe and the probe comes back, Shin's got that moment, which is,
With
by
the
the way,
binoculars and
the
everything.
shot of her when the probe comes back with the 2 HK droids and the ship in the background, and on like Lothal, like at
So
dusk at golden
surreal.
hour or whatever. Holy shit. That is the most Star Wars shit I've seen in my fucking life.
Oh man.
My God.
How cool.
That shot needs to be a poster.
How cool is it that we got live action Lothal and it was like just like animation? Like
It translated so
But it
well.
was-
it's crazy for us.
I want to live
Yes,
there.
for us that watched everything and went through everything, and to see Lothal at the end of season 4 being like an absolute shithole to it being back to what it was, if not better, so cool. And one part we didn't really even bring up in Sabine living in, you know, Ezra's old place, and she figures out the puzzle, right? And it was I saw Alex Dimon bring this up in one of his videos. It was the Celtic like symbol for witches, or something really weird. And I'm like, that is so clever and so Dave. But the fact that it's in a whole nother galaxy and you see it go toom, toom, man, my God, like that just gets me so excited for what we got down the pipeline with this whole show. Live action Jerry Cable. So stupid.
I'm actually 5 guys inside of a puppet. That's what this is.
So
I'm actually 20 feet tall.
what did y'all think of the
It is fucking terrifying. I'm sorry.
what did y'all think of the Shin Sabine duel? Then we can go on to the next episode. How do we feel about it?
They should have kissed.
They should have kissed.
That would have made me feel very excited somewhere.
Not the third boner reference this show.
like what I liked about it is that it was like really intense, but you got a sense that it was 2 people that didn't want to kill each other.
Boom! Oh my God, yes! And you can see the look in Shin's eyes when she finally stabs Sabine. Like it was a stab of like, I have to do this because you have what I need,
Right.
not because I want to. It's not Sith at all, because Sith would be like, I'm gonna kill that fucking Jedi. This was very much
Should've
like
cut her head
yeah,
off or something.
This was very much
Yeah.
like ooh, and then pulled it right back, and like literally stabbed like in a part where there's like barely any vital organs, like right here. You know what I mean? all the way to the.
She
the
took out her
left.
appendix.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Her
Just-
gallbladder.
Gallbladder. But no,
Yeah, like it's already gone for me. It's all good.
I
We're good.
love
We're golden
the
there.
kind of martial arty nature of Sabine being able to lay down and do that. I was so looking forward to the Dude Bros being like, "How could she fight with a lightsaber, bro?" Like I was hoping to get that shit. I was hoping.
What
to get
about that hot ass move where she catches
Yeah, that's what
herself
I'm saying.
with one arm?
Oh yeah, and she's still fighting her off.
Like that was some of the coolest shit I've seen.
Honestly, and even,
like in a duel.
seeing Shin just like spin her cape like as a part of her moves, I was like,
yes,
this is
Yes.
camp, and I'm here for it.
yes, Dave gets it. Dave gets it. So I also liked how in terms of fighting, it was very much Sabine was on defensive. I think she was waiting for Ahsoka to get there and like really handle it, because the entire time it's that form where she holds it in front of herself, super defensive, just like stopping her. But like Shin didn't hold back, but wasn't as brutal as one would think she could be. You know what I mean?
It made me think that since so much of Star Wars, especially quite a lot of Filoni's Star Wars, kind of, talks about the failures of the Jedi and the frustrations with the Jedi, and even when we saw Tales of the Jedi, like Dooku's whole backstory is like the frustrations of like the arrogance and like the immobility of the Jedi. Maybe what we're seeing with Baylan and Shin is not people like who are evil, but they are just the embodiment of people who got frustrated and wanted to go another way, and because of the nature of the way that they view the Force, there is no other way for them to go.
Right. That's true. I like that. Dave's really good about adding in those deeper themes. And something else I realized too, whenever I was watching this fight, could this have been Shin's first time fighting someone else? Like this very well could be her first duel, because
someone else with a saber.
Yeah, with a saber besides Baylan, like how there's no other Jedi out there to our knowledge.
So true. We have Luke, Ahsoka, I guess Ezra, maybe Cal, but like even I think Ahsoka even says there's so few people who can still wield the Force to Hera earlier in the episode.
So that's interesting. I guess you're right. So this may have been Shin's first time actually having an opponent. Kind of like Maul. Well, Maul, I know Maul killed a couple of Jedi, but I know the first time we ever saw Maul, that was Qui-Gon's first time seeing a Sith. The Sith have returned. So like, yeah, it's so interesting. And then of course, classic cuts at the very end once Ahsoka gets there. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm glad this is a two-parter, because waiting a week for the next episode would have probably pissed me off. Because like you can't, you're not going to kill off, because you already see so many trailer shots. You haven't seen the epilogue yet of Rebels. So like, what are we doing here? But to lead into the next episode, I want to talk about this for 2 seconds. We know Force sensitivity is a thing that's discussed. And I know George Lucas said in a quote that everyone can have the Force, because the Force resides in all living things. I genuinely believe the only deep connection Sabine has to the Force is through her dreams, because you see her like having those super visceral nightmare moments, right? And even Ahsoka sensed that nightmare she had and woke her up from it in the hospital. How do y'all feel about it? Because even Hu Yang's like, you're adept. Like you can't even like, you don't have the ability at all. You're one of the worst Force users. You know what I mean?
I just thought of some crazy shit. Because you know how some people say with like astral projection and stuff, and like you can only do certain things like when your body's at like complete rest or at ease. And I'm like, what if that is because Sabine is in a state of sleep? It's her most vulnerable. And that's when she opens up to the Force. Because I feel like Sabine has always had a little bit of a wall up when it comes to her emotions.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what if this is when her wall is like finally down? And that's why she can tap into that Force while she's asleep rather than when she's actually awake.
Right.
Yeah. I love that, because that makes sense too. And we know a lot about the subconscious mind. Like your brain's super active when you're sleeping, way more than it almost is when you're awake. Regan, what do you think about the idea of entertaining that she is a Force sensitive person?
Like I felt like, we saw a lot of her, like obviously training with the dark saber. So we, there was always that. My connection just stopped, so I don't know if you guys can still hear me. But
No, you're good. You're good.
We can see you. We
but
got you.
you know, there's part of me that kind of felt like, okay, we're gonna do this again. But also, like, she's compelling enough and almost relatable enough that I'm interested to see her interact with the Force.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel
I agree.
like in some way it's a parallel to, like, it's stupid, but like, to me, you know, constantly trying to meditate and open myself up spiritually and constantly struggling to do it because my mind is busy and you know, like, I deal with the frustrations of the day. I feel like it was very relatable to me, and it might be a more realistic way of seeing somebody interact with the Force than we've seen in Star Wars, because people always approach it as it's just like they feel it, and you know. But I think with a lot, as with all like metaphysical things, I feel like they come in fits and starts. Like, you have a moment where you connect with it, and then you struggle to get it back, and you can't, and it becomes, as you get more frustrated with it, it becomes more difficult. So I just felt like it was, you know, I don't know, it was a more realistic portrayal of what I feel like, especially someone who's been through what she's been through, especially someone who's young, like, actually trying to, you know, connect with the Force, and it's how it would happen, you know. I don't have, maybe don't have better words for it, but
No, I love that, because we all have those moments of vulnerability, and obviously sleep is a big one. And being already pretty emotionally compromised person like herself, having to deal with the things she did with the Empire, having to deal with the fact that she lost her best friend, you know, even a mentor like Kanan. Yeah, there's a lot to dissect there, and I just love that, you know, the nightmares or those experiences probably do play into her Force sensitivity. I don't know, Jerry, how do you feel about it? Because I think it's a kind of a cool concept that we haven't gotten before, of like, dreams are your connection, you know?
Yeah. Well, would that mean she ends up being like what's the guy from the Ancient Prophecies?
Oh my God,
We
yes.
saw that he could only tell the future when he's
Damn
sleeping.
it, what's his
right?
name? Hold on.
What's his name? He's from Kelly Hopkinsville.
Oh God.
But anyway,
God,
The Long Island Medium.
Long.
what's that? Yeah, Long Island Medium. Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, all that, like, in all seriousness, I mean, it's an interesting bent to it for sure. That would be an interesting way to kind of approach it. But like again, like Scotty was saying earlier, and then like kind of like people are in the chat, like it's cool to just see someone kind of come from nothing, like kind of come from this, like, or like it doesn't seem like they have the Force or anything like that. But maybe the dreams is like, again, like maybe her sleep is the way she can connect finally, and then open up and like be able to do what she needs to do as a Jedi, things like that. I don't know. I could go either way, because again, I like the idea. I've been really playing with that idea more of like anyone can be a Jedi. They just have to
Tap into it.
be able to focus and tap into it. That's kind of a cool idea. We've kind of backpedaled from that, I think, since the sequel trilogy. So it would be cool to see it again. But I like the idea of, again, like having someone where like that's like their deep connection. Ezra was like connected to like wildlife, to nature and things like that. Sabine is connected to that dreamscape. And also I love that Scotty brought up astral projection. I just want to go ahead and like go on record that I think that is a great reference. I appreciated that. So
I'm glad you did, because everybody kind of was looking, and I was like, oh God, no one's following what I'm saying.
No, I know what it is.
no, I was like, listen, I wish I could. I would get so much shit done. But anyway,
Jerry. No, I love that we get our villains arriving on Balin and Shin arriving on the that red tree planet. It has a name. I forgot.
Cetos.
Look at you, Scotty.
Cetos.
So no, I love that we got that moment, because you've been seeing it from the trailers, and they just walk up to that little thing, they put the orb down, they look up, and I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but there is.
I didn't notice until you pointed it out.
I was like, oh shit, I noticed something for once. There's a Purrgil in that shot, like clearly in that shot. I wonder if I can get it pulled up. Hold on.
Above the
clouds,
yeah.
like a literal.
You see the silhouette of a Purrgil way.
It is wild. It's like super.
I didn't
Like,
notice it. This is exciting.
it was awesome. So I don't want to get copyright taken down. So let me see if I can get it pulled up. We can all just kind of see it for a second. But like you can clearly see that it was a Purga. Hold on, I don't know why it's not. There we go. You can clearly see that it's a Purga. Let me skip ahead a little bit. Hold on. So we're not getting attacked. Goes up, walks up to it, puts it down. She's looking, he's looking. Digga, watch this. You can barely see it, but look right there underneath where it says cast. That little cloud, it looks like a cloud almost. That is a Purgil because you can see it move.
Oh, I see. I
Yeah,
see.
watch. It's so brief, and he sees it. Watch. I'll let the whole scene play out. So it pans up. Okay, we're panning up. We're panning up right here. Look right there below cast. You saw that?
No.
Super freaking brief. It's like unbelievably brief. One more
Well,
time. before we
What's
get
funny
attacked.
too
Right
is
here. Look right
I
below.
oh,
I see
I
it.
saw it that time.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy though, because once they get the star map like up and running, essentially, there's a circle of like drawings of Purgil like around that point in the sky.
Like the closing credits.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
like, what is up with these Purgil and what there's more to them than
Well,
we know.
We always thought they just went across, galaxy. I'm sorry, they went across their own galaxy, but apparently they are intergalactic planetary.
They're going
You know
everywhere.
what I'm saying? They're Beastie Boys of that shit. Man, I already showed y'all, Buck. You don't see it? Look, I'll go get a screenshot for Buck just to make it easier. But yeah, I love that planet. And then the title drop. Bro, I was like back in freaking 4th grade when Prisoner of Azkaban came out, and it said "Toil and Trouble." I was like, "Wow, we're talking about
Dude, the Toil and
witness!"
Trouble. I was like,
So
yeah,
metal.
man, like the number of the beast,
Yeah.
all that kind of
The
stuff. Yeah,
spooky
it was
girly
in
in
great.
me
It
was
great.
also creaming
Mr.
myself. I was like, oh yes,
Crowley.
Toil and Trouble.
Toil and freaking Trouble.
Yes.
Oh, y'all.
Yes,
I love the titles of these
I was
shows.
ready to get witchy.
The titles always get me when it comes to Dave and John's work.
So
Oh, it's
good.
so good. I'm trying to get a screenshot.
Toil and Trouble goes so hard. It goes so hard. Like for I don't know.
And this
man.
was our first time getting to see Night Sister Magic in live action.
Yep,
So
that's right.
like how perfect was that? I'm curious if all the episode titles are going to be blank and blank because we had Master and Apprentice, Toil and
I
Trouble.
feel like they will. That seems like I get a sense that's going to be the naming convention. You know?
That's what I was thinking too, and I'm interested to see if there's like one that isn't as cool, but they had to make it fit the format.
Yeah.
crackers and snacks or something.
I also because this show is going to end right ahead of Halloween, I strongly suspect because I think they'll go heavy on the Night Sister witch magic. I think we're going to get some spooky. I think like they're going to work this into spooky Star Wars merch.
Oh.
It's my gut feeling.
I have to.
I want to
Alright.
see Morgan Elspeth wield the magic in a duel.
Oh, Disney Plus got me. It did,
Yeah.
it did the whole thing where it like blocks my screenshot.
No.
Son of a bitch. Well, I can't get it, Buck. You might have to go back and watch because I wanted to get that for you, but it's
Bob
not.
Iger.
There's tweets out there. There's a few
Is there?
tweets out
Okay,
there
cool.
that people have shared. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm telling you, I thought that was such a cool little reference, and
I don't know about zombies, but that would
They
be,
can raise the dead.
interesting.
yeah.
So
Okay, wait a minute. So I didn't know this. This is new news to me. For those that played Fallen Order, know what this is. Psychometry. I had no idea Ahsoka and like had the ability to like feel things that happened at a previous place. That is a new thing for her, right?
So
Or am
I'm not sure if I would call it psychometry for her.
Okay.
Only because, and I was looking into this earlier, like
love you.
before I mentioned Force Echoes, where she could like hear things and whatnot. Whereas psychometry is more of you will get a vision the majority of the time
it.
of the event, where she's like tapping into it,
Mhm.
but it's not full like psychometry. I wasn't sure if they were trying to give her psychometry too or not. But
Yeah, I
it's
can't
definitely something like that she's got going on. That's why I was like, maybe it's just an echo in the Force
Yeah.
versus full-on psychometry.
Yeah.
But
Jerry, what did you think of it? Because I thought it was pretty interesting where when she was walking through the whole situation, just like being able to feel out exactly what happened and how it went down.
Yeah, my brain didn't go to to psychometry or anything like that, but I was going more like echoes in the Force kind of thing.
Okay.
Absolutely, but maybe you
Yeah.
know, like it could be like maybe we'll get a little more something a little deeper.
Maybe you're right.
In the next few episodes.
Oh man, I like where this is going. Reagan, did you hear anything with the Force psychometry thing? I know your connection's kind of iffy.
I literally had heard about it
Okay.
right before we started our chat before this episode. But I also feel like she's an older, wiser Ahsoka. She like the Force is a mystery of constantly evolving abilities. So I mean, I think sometimes it can be used a little too conveniently, like when they just need to do something. But I really like it. Like I feel like it helps the story along a lot. So I think it's fascinating, and I'm kind of interested to see more how it gets used throughout the course.
Yeah,
I agree, and especially with like possibly going to a different, I guess you could say, galaxy and what that implies, or even through the world between worlds, like how if we get Morgan Elsbeth, which we know in the trailer they obviously somehow get to Thrawn in some capacity. Like I wonder how Hera, Sabine, and Ahsoka will. You know what I mean? Like, or will they not? Or do they bring Thrawn back here? And you're like, okay, let's set some shit straight. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was very Rebels that they had Sabine working on tech, by the way, whenever she was taking apart the head of the assassin droid, and that whole intense moment of the bomb, and Hu Yang's like, nah, snip that wire. I thought that was so cool.
And her,
oh man, well,
Hera,
just like, oh, go ahead, Scotty.
Yeah, what are you gonna say?
Not you, Scotty.
I was just gonna say she's even got her little machine that she had. I don't even know what to call it. It's like a freaking Palm Pilot or some
I
shit.
did feel like you just literally put an iPhone charger in that thing, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's the aux cord. Like,
yeah. I just like that was the best comedy of the show too, was in that moment when we have was it Hera like, I think we should go for it, and Hu Yang going, you're a hologram.
It's so good.
I cackled in that moment out loud.
Oh, it was so good.
So good.
So good.
I miss the lightheartedness, if I'm going to be honest with you. I know Grogu has their lighthearted moments too.
A good mix of
but
everything.
damn, I really do love when Dave has the chance to like make it lighthearted. You know what I mean? Because even Ahsoka's entrance in Chapter 13 of The Mandalorian wasn't very lighthearted. It was a pretty serious episode. So serious.
It's very bleak.
So to see them kind of have a jokey moment, Hu Yang, being a very paranoid, kind of C-3PO-esque, I'm like, this is pretty cool, And I love how Rebels that
like Hu Yang is like if C-3PO was actually meditating.
Yeah, exactly.
Is what it feels like,
so I got it, y'all on screen. I have to praise Jerry right now because I'm gonna pull him up big.
What did I do?
You called it. You called it Corellia. You are dead on. I didn't believe him at all.
Were people not thinking it was Corellia?
Months ago, I'm like, no, they're not going to go to Corellia, dude. I was like, there's no way. They're going to go to a different shipping planet. Yeah,
I did. Okay, I think you're talking about. I did say it like months ago. I forgot about
when that
that.
first trailer came out.
In the trailer.
They do that though, Scotty. You're completely right, because it'll be like, unlike the characters, they'll be like, we have this planet that does this, but let's make a new one instead. Like,
okay, so like, what was the one? Trask.
You know how many volcanic /
desert
like
Trask from chapter 10, which was pretty much Mon Cala. You know what I mean? Like
down to the species.
Yeah, like then Mon Cala and what's the other species, Jerry?
Oh no, the Mon Calamari Quarren. Yeah.
Quarren, yeah. I was like, oh, we're on Mon Cala. Nope.
Frog
no,
people?
We're on Trask.
What are those called? Are they just called frog
I think
people?
So. But no, you were dead right. Corellia. Good job, Jerry. Very good job.
Thank you. Again, industrial and water and gray skies. Corellia.
It looked better.
That's what it is.
It looked better than it did in Solo.
It looks a little bit. It was like nature is healing itself a little bit there, although there is not much nature on Corellia anymore. It feels like just water. It feels like there's just concrete and water.
Well,
and spaceship
maybe
water.
there's coral and algae in the water. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm sure it is great under the water. I'm sure it's great under the water.
Under the sea.
But yeah, it's like one of those it's like a British dock or something. It's like a British dock. Corellia is what it feels like to me.
One thing I will say about this
anyway.
Corellia moment, I don't know if anyone felt the same exact way. I thought it was compelling, that we had this guy that's not loyal to anyone but money. But that was kind of cool. But like, I don't know if it's a card that's been played too many times now for me. But like, I not that I knew the outcome would be he was the traitor, and they played it off really well. I just had a feeling like, okay, this is gonna go sideways. She's gonna break through that window from the trailers. And
I'm
then
thinking that actor only plays exactly that guy in absolutely everything that he's in. Like,
see, I thought it was Donald Fagen from Steely Dan. I was like, that's not Donald Fagen, is it? It's not Donald Fagen. Let me show you a picture of Donald Fagen, because now I have to validate myself on this one. Hold on. Here's a look. There we go. Actual projections. So this is what Donald Fagen looks like. Hold on.
Scotty is doing research throughout the show.
This is Donald Fagen. I genuinely thought that this was Steely Dan's Donald Fagen, who was like, and this is a very Donald Fagen looking face. So I was like, oh wow, they hired Donald Fagen to be this asshole, like I'm only loyal to.
Looks like Michael McCoy.
But who was the? That's amazing. No, who was the actor that played? Oh God, what was his name?
Min Weaver.
Weaver. Let's see. Oh nope, that's
perfect.
That's.
Here we go. Let's dock somebody, everyone. Here we go. Yeah.
There we go. Look at Donald Fagen. Are you kidding me? Same vibe.
Hold on. Why is RuPaul on the screen?
What?
It does kind of sound like a drag name a little bit,
Min Weaver. No, I do really like Min Weaver. So he's in. Okay, so what else has he been in? Hold on, let me look this. Let's see.
I don't know, but this is a Star Wars character that screams my favorite color is beige.
Like, he's a character actor. He's been in everything, and he always plays exactly that guy.
Peter Jacobson.
Jacobson.
Let's find it out. He just has that vibe.
Good strong American name.
He's the kind of doctor. He's the kind of doctor that's like, no, your kid's got like a month to live. You know what I mean? Like, he just has that vibe. Let's see.
Now go to the front and get your bill paid. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Yeah. There we go. Oh, okay. He was in House.
He looks like a douche. Like a douchey, like I don't care about anything.
Regan literally said he was in House like 5 minutes ago, Scotty. God
I was
damn it.
too intrigued that he could play really good jazz piano.
God damn it.
He was also.
Yeah, Scotty's like, Steely Dan.
That's all I can think of. He was in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't even believe that. That's my favorite show of all time. Now we're on a Peter Jacobson fucking.
This is the Peter Jacobson podcast.
I thought he was an asshole.
This is now a Peter Jacobson Stan account? Is that what it is?
When was he in Always Sunny? I don't even Jokes on D, that episode? Oh, yes, that's true.
And
that
he looks like a douchey businessman.
Yeah, he was the agent. He was the agent.
He plays douchey agent, douchey businessman. Just if you put douche in front of a job title, he plays it.
This is incredible. Anyway, the more you know. I love this. I love that we got some. Sorry, Stan. No, I knew this was coming. I loved how it twisted. I love that everyone in that control room turned. Everyone except for the droids. They're like, what the shit?
When the first guy starts going, was it for the Empire, man? Like, did Ahsoka cut his hand off, or did she just take the
tip of the gun? Because I swear I thought too. I thought the hand was coming off, but they didn't do it.
I thought she dude, they cleaned house, and it's like go ahead.
Oh no, I was listening to you. I was just playing with.
No, well, I was just like, I loved the whole. We've been kind of seeing throughout Mando and all these kind of shows. We're slowly building up that there's kind of unrest. The Republic isn't quite what we thought it was going to be. The New Republic, again, and I ain't gonna. No one pin it on my girl Mon Mothma. Okay, it ain't her fault. It ain't her fault. It's the goddamn senators.
I am with you, Jerry.
And not Jaikel. And not Jaikel. Jaikel was with her. Yeah. All right, Senator Jaikel was with her. But we've kind of been seeing this unrest and everything foment, and we've seen the Imperial remnants around, but to actually see you get there and he's they're well, how many ex Imperials do you have here? Oh, well,
That shouldn't matter.
we pretty much kept everyone on because like this just whoever pays. They don't care who pays them. They're like, yeah, we would have had to shut down, and then the whole like there are ex Imperials at every level of the New Republic.
God,
But I think all of this is so important because I think as they bring all of this together eventually to show us how we got from here to the First Order, I think it's important to see that some people were motivated by greed. Some people just didn't like the direction of the Republic. I think that it's because I think it mirrors a lot of the unrest that we have right now. When you question why, if you disagree with people's loyalties, when you question how they got there, it's important to see like every thread that goes into that tapestry,
Completely agree. And it's funny because we got that with season 3 of Mando with the whole like what was it called, Jerry? The like the halfway house, essentially. The what do they call
Amnesty
it? The
program.
Amnesty program.
Oh,
yeah.
Amnesty
I was
program,
like,
which felt a little iffy to me.
And that's this.
It felt a
well, but
little
you know what though,
iffy,
I
like
like
you're
that
stripping
because in the
people of
books, it's never said outright, but like when the Republic has people like Captain Cardinal as an example, who like they have their like reconditioning program, it really is only designed to make you, the person being reconditioned, not want to kill the people of the Republic. It is not designed to actually help you through your trauma.
No.
Or, and I think that that's why you end up with people who are embittered and turn back to what they know and what is familiar and comfortable.
Oh man, I agree.
Oh, I loved it, but I just again, I love that as the concept, but like just as like it felt icky for the New Republic of all institutions to have something like that, because it's like it felt very dehumanizing.
Hera clearly didn't know that was
bit.
going on, and I kind of love that too. Like even these higher ups, and I love the moment where she's like, I have clearance. Just open the damn document. You know what I mean? Like that was so awesome. Because you gotta think, like, let's be real. If there was let's just say hypothetically, there was a UFO crash, and a general wanted to see those documents somewhere, he could have access to it. Especially for this example, like an engine being transported across, space. Like, yeah, let me see who this is going to. Like, oh, you don't have the clearance code. You're like, are you fucking kidding? I literally am a general of the rebellion. Like, I am literally.
I wrote
like
these goddamn
4 steps
codes
below
like
the president of the whole like rebellion. I mean, like I am like right there. You know what I mean? There's president, vice president. Some asshole.
I once
there,
raced Han Solo.
Yeah.
Right. Like I once beat him.
Oh God.
I made him tell me that I'm the best pilot
and that my ship is better than his.
Yes. Yes. So.
Thank you, Forces of Destiny.
I agree. And it's funny, I was thinking that would play into it a little bit at some point, but we'll see. Maybe it will. I was really enjoying that whole moment. And then the fact that, we see that trailer scene play out, the Inquisitor versus, Ahsoka. And we could talk about that forever. I thought it was a very good fight scene. Some people said it looked too green screeny to me. Watching it on Disney Plus,
I don't understand.
On Disney Plus, I didn't feel that way. On the trailers, maybe, yeah, but like, seeing the full thing play out, I'm like, this is actually a lot of depth to it. Like, surprisingly,
I'm starting to think that I'm maybe I'm just old and blind or something.
Our eyes aren't what they used to be.
I don't. They aren't. I don't understand sometimes when people like, it looks like green screen. I'm like, did you see the green screen when I was a kid? Like, for fuck's sake. Like,
did
come
you
on.
see the Mummy?
The only parts for me that didn't look amazing was just when they were driving through like the factory.
I agree. That looked funky. Yeah,
But the fight itself, I thought it looked great. I didn't have any issues with it. And I just want to point out that Mark is hot, the Inquisitor. He's super sexy. He is my boyfriend, and I'm obsessed with him now.
God. Are we okay? Realistically, are we thinking anything?
You heard it here first.
Are we thinking anything sick? Are we going to get like kind of a wild drop? Like, does anyone really think we're going to get something? Because my dream would be like, and I think I talked to Alden about this. Maybe I think my dream would be like Sam Witwer just takes it off. You're like, what?
That dream is soaked in. That dream is soaked in Mountain Dew.
I know it is. It's a Jared like fever dream.
That was my first thought too, though, because they have to. I mean, it's time. it's
It's
time.
time. I completely agree.
It is. I think it's been enough time to
15
where you
years?
can go. This isn't to please the fanboys.
Nope.
Because again, I liked both games back in the
Yeah.
day when they came out. Right, like it's greedy little fanboys that have turned it into
A
something
power
stupid.
thirst thing.
Yep.
It's not saying Whitwer's fault.
To that end, though, I also hope that we see Ashley in this show. In some
I agree.
capacity.
I'm sure we will. And you never
If
know.
we don't, it's an insult to her. If we
They could save, Ashley or even Sam for like the father-daughter and,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Father-daughter
her-
and son thing. Like, oh man. Like, and also I agree, maybe not let it be Star Killer. I don't know. It's so complicated. Like, I really, that's true.
It doesn't have to be Star
Uh-huh.
Killer. It just like to have Sam Witwer in there. Like what was
But I
it?
also think you
Galen
can't have
Merritt.
as a character that just shows up and doesn't get a fully fleshed out. Like,
And
know
you
what I
never know.
Holy shit! Wait, I
Yeah.
forgot to put 2 and 2 together with Merrick
And Morok.
and Galen Merrick.
Yeah.
With Marok and Galen Merrick.
So I don't think, honestly, I'm kind of at this point just think Marek is Marek and that's it.
Yeah.
But I will say, Crystal Kyber, who was in the chat earlier in my Discord, she pulled some shit out of left field and was like, "What if it's Cal Kestis under there?" And I was like,
Unbelievable.
I was
Good
like, I don't want that
lord.
to happen, but that would be super cool.
That'd be badass, man.
That would be crazy.
Because then that'd be
I saw people. I don't think it's this, but some people were. This would be super fucking dark if Dave went here. But some people were saying like, "Ooh, is it?"
I
Ezra
also
or
like that
something, which I
theory.
don't think that could. It's interesting.
It's-
It's dark. Though.
it's
That's so. Fucking
so that's
dark.
the thing. Like, are we gonna have a reveal for that character, or is it gonna be kind of like some of the Quizzers were for Rebels, is get killed
Just
off?
hot ass.
Yeah,
Marok.
exactly. Just gets chopped up
Yeah.
and they're dead. And I as much as I want that, I don't care what they do with it. Honestly, that's the problem with some of these things. Is you expect these things to happen, then they don't.
What if it's the Tyrillian Django jumper from Rebels?
As long as his
remember
his face is hot, like he's hot with the helmet off,
Yeah.
I'm fine. But if we don't have a cool idea,
Scotty's
if we don't have a cool idea, just keep the helmet on.
Just keep the helmet on. You're right, and that could be
That's cool.
Dave just fucking
Yeah.
with us.
He
too.
keeps the helmet on when he. You know where I'm going with that.
the helmet stays on. The
So
helmet stays
stupid.
on.
So okay, that whole fight was great. I don't want to dwell on it too much. I kind of want to go back to the scene where, and I'm not gonna lie, I lost my mind whenever she drops that Thrawn's in another galaxy, and then says the line, which I don't know how to interpret this because, to our knowledge, Thrawn is not a Force-sensitive character. Morgan Elsbeth says, "I feel Thrawn through time and space."
Feel him calling
to me through time and space. I'm
and
like,
I kind of hated that.
so what is that? Yeah, what is that? What does that mean? Like, what do you?
Because it's so like that's not Thrawn. That
I know. So like,
Well, but maybe it's something else, a siren song or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe we're gonna get like they're getting duped.
or maybe it's
something.
Ezra.
Is Thrawn even in? Is Thrawn even
No,
alive?
I don't want to derail this conversation anymore, but I used to be, before I knew you guys, I was in
Uh-huh.
the Thrawn Facebook group.
I
And
love this.
This woman joined one night in the middle of the night and she posted just the most lengthy, unhinged, graphic Thrawn sex fiction. And like they had to ban her, and then she came back under another name. And then one night she had like a complete meltdown. She might be watching this, and I'm so sorry if she is, but like she had a complete meltdown because he's the
Listen.
love of her life, which is like way to love the most emotionally unavailable man. But all that was what I thought of. Like that is like just
Oh.
write this line.
That's
It
incredible.
Sounds like something that she would say.
Oh, I love
Somewhere that lady is having the best
Yes.
Thursday
The
right
best
now. Like
Thursday?
with all this. Best Thursday with all this shit coming
Yeah.
up.
So like, are we gonna wait for Thrawn? I mean, are we ever gonna get the reveal? What's he gonna be wearing? You know what I mean? Like, I think we're gonna get him, but like, how is he talking through? Is it because he's just got he's got just this ability to do this? Like, what are we waiting for? You know?
Wait, that's just Joe Organa painted blue. What are you doing, Scotty? What are you doing?
It kind of is. It's kind of there's something there to that. I'm gonna have to do a.
It's
I'm
just
gonna
Joe
do a
painted blue. That's all
Photoshop
that
this
is.
evening. No, but for real, like where are we going? Like, what does this mean? And then the whole amazing part where they talk about the Eye of Sion, and like, Balin's kind of like, I wouldn't want anything to happen to Ahsoka. Essentially, like, what in the world?
We are getting a lot of really, it's really fantasy.
That was awesome.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
deliciousness. Like the Eye of Sion, the like there was some other things. Like it was the path to Peridia. The path to
very
Peridia.
legends. Like,
I'm so into it. I've always loved fantasy more than sci-fi, and the more Star Wars leans into fantasy, I'm just like, give it all to me.
Yes, I agree, and it's funny because I could see fans maybe not liking it, but this is what I am. I am living for this shit.
Hey, Boop.
Living for this shit.
Don't worry, everyone. Boop made it.
Boop made it. Good, fantastic. So, to kind of wrap this thing up, one part that I love the most about it was that we got Sabine having her Kanan moment, that moment of transformation, and then calling calling Sabine. Damn it, they're calling Ahsoka and saying, "I'm ready," and like the whole conversation they were having, of like how do you know when she's going to be ready, and then literally, the second she gets back on the ship.
I did have to kind of laugh because it's just the way that they're writing her is just so true to girls. You know what I mean? Like if you've ever had the haircut moment after a breakup, it is that dramatic. It is that like on your knees, just like,
wait, that's amazing.
Rashomon style, all this stuff.
Oh, I love that though.
That's incredible. I love that insight though, because we don't pick up on that.
No,
kind of stuff.
I because like I don't know. To me, it was paralleling Kanan and what Kanan had to go through to like transform and give up who he was going to be, to become a big fucking wolf or whatever. I was just like, sorry, I had to
be a big fucking wolf.
But no, like that whole moment's so cool. And then we end up getting shot for shot the Rebels epilogue that we all had dreamed of for like ever. You know what I mean? Like that like when do they pick this up? You know what I mean? So oh God, I love that part. Oh, I love that part. Thought it was so cool to see the cutting of the hair, the helmet sitting right there. What did y'all take away from that scene? Because that scene was incredible for me.
Sorry.
Okay, and maybe this is because I'm a non-binary person, but I completely get what Regan was talking about too. It would be me when I was going through some chaotic shit, and I was like, you know what? Shaving my head, cutting the side of my hair off, like it's just that fuck everything. I'm onto a new level now, whether it was from something bad or if I was just going through some shit. So I love that you tied it to that, Reagan, because that makes me understand it even more. And the dramatic, I'm ready now. I've got my armor on and I'm ready to go. Especially after she was being so moody before as an air sign too. Like that's also me being like, oh no, I'm going to be a bitch. And then I'm like, okay, you're right. Now I'm ready because I had my little moment and now I'm good to go.
That's fucking awesome. I like it. Like that is a transformative moment and everything, but like, yeah, no, it is really cool that y'all can tie it to kind of that emotion. It really, again, that's what this stuff is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you go like, wow, I'm that character. And it's such a cool moment.
I agree.
I want to say, sorry,
no, you
Scotty,
go, baby. You go, sweetheart.
Well, all I was going to say was I have two things I want to talk about before we end. I don't know if we're ending like anytime soon, but we just stay on all night. It'll be fine. I do need to go to work tomorrow, but it is what it is. Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera has absolutely nailed it.
Absolutely.
There are mom moments.
She was so good.
Oh, go ahead.
And like this is so terrible of me because her whole look is so true to Hera, and yet her costuming was so friggin' distracting to me. Like the whole
is
time.
Is it the eyes? Is the contacts? What is it for you?
No, it's like the makeup didn't bother me. Like there's only so much that you can do, but like the costuming, it's just like they could have made her like a sort of recognizable outfit look more like an actual thing, an actual human. Like well, obviously not.
Okay.
So
Oh,
cartoonish. It just threw me out every single time. Like it really, it's going to bother me the entire series because I know they wanted her to look like her and be super recognizable, but and I realized that even in the costume design of the pants, that seemed like it was done to give her, like, to force her into a particular stance that is true to the character. But it was just so, like, the fabric choice, the colors, it was so flat. And so, like, it didn't look like a standard uniform that has to be in beautiful condition. It didn't look weathered. It just looked cartoony, and it drove bandanas the entire time. Sorry.
Okay. My only complaint about Hera at this point, other than anything that's been said, why couldn't they smoke out her eyeshadow?
Right?
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's just like
that's pretty good.
Haley unblended eyeliner. It was driving me crazy.
And they smoked out Shin's eyeshadow around her eyes, but they couldn't do it for Hera. I'm like, come on. She's putting on eyeshadow for the first time, and she just like puts it over her eyelid, and like, oh god, please.
See, for me, it was the contacts that kind of threw me off. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm still not. I like, even in, like, you know, on like a horror movie level, when a character has like those awful contacts in that like make their eyes look like Darth Maul's eyes, like, I don't know, that never really worked for me. The only time it's ever been effective personally is when Anakin turns around at Revenge of the Sith, and I'm like, oh fuck, that's really good. But like these, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Those contact lenses didn't really sell me quite as much as I would have hoped it did. You know what I mean?
They're a little bright. They're a little raver girl.
Raver girl, yes. I love that.
Ahsoka's don't look crazy though.
No,
they don't. No. Ahsoka's looks fine. I don't know why.
Whole makeup design is really, really good. And her Leku are so much better than they were.
Oh, I love the jiggling Leku. Both her and Hera. I don't know if they added weights or something, but it makes it so much more lifelike. But I just imagine Rosario running with the Leku going and the cloak and shit. I'm like, they kept making this poor actress run in this outfit, like.
Yeah.
Lightsaber slapping her in the legs the whole time.
Right. It is a lot. But like, well, and the look of Hera aside, I thought they gave her some really good mom moments, which again, that was the thing that people were really wanting. They were like wondering, are we going to get that mom Hera? Because in Rebels, she is the mom of the whole crew. And man, that moment whenever Hu Yang and Ahsoka leave the hospital room, and she looks at Sabine and she's like, you did really good. And she's like, you better get some rest. And just the way that Sabine looks at her for a long moment and then goes, thanks, Hera.
Oh God, it's good.
And it was just like, oh, so heartwarming.
And then she just hits her with the anytime. I'm like, oh, I just want her to hug me.
I want you to be my mom, Hera. I want, like, God damn it. Just kidding. I love my mom. It's fine. But yeah, no, okay. And then also, we haven't said shit about Chopper.
Oh, Chopper was amazing.
I know Chopper's like such a small part, and we mainly saw all his stuff the day before.
Yeah.
Right, because when they released the 2 clips.
The clips actually didn't bother me as much as I thought they, like, you know, when people do clips, like,
no, it wasn't that bad.
None of it was bad. It was just like too revealing. I would have liked to have had a little bit more. There's a couple of quiet moments with Chopper that I really liked. You know, when he was like sensing where they were at and stuff. I don't know.
I didn't watch the clips for that reason.
Like, oh, smart. Okay.
But how crazy is it that they nailed Chopper? We went from like Rogue One, where he's just going by in the background, the robot that they used on the Rebels Recon or whatever, going bah, 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 to like now he's fully articulated, like his head wobbles and everything.
Yeah.
Like my kiddo loved it. Like he's like, did you look through my stuff?
Yeah,
like, kind of thing, you know, all of that.
And
it was pitch perfect.
waiting for him to spin before he threw the tractor beam too. I was like, please let him spin around with it in his hand and throw it. And that's exactly what he did. And I was like, this was perfect.
It's a testament to Dave's creative nature, because that could have been really shitty looking, but in no way was it shitty looking.
we got some cookie droids in this
Oh, I
series.
also think he wouldn't mishandle that droid. There's like
No.
there's so much love for him. Not just from us, but from
Oh, yeah.
Dave. So
He is. I mean, he is Dave. That's yeah. You know, and that makes sense.
That literally is
Yeah.
Dave going like, yeah.
I can understand Chopper more now, seeing him in live action. Like what he was saying, it's very clearly there.
But I don't think that was just you. I think he was much clearer.
Yes,
I
you're-
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like now that the cat's at the bag, that it's Dave. Like I can kind of see that it's Dave now. You know what I mean? Like I kind of get it. I don't know.
It's got that Dave twang to it for
So
sure.
before we
Yeah.
close this whole
Yeah.
thing out, where are we going next week? Are we going to that planet that you mentioned earlier? Because I forget the name.
Oh,
already.
Cetos.
Yeah, are we going there? You think we're gonna go
Cetos.
right there, or do you think we're gonna get like a little bit of a space? You know, because I feel like we're going there pretty much immediately.
I think we're going there because they've got the tracking device on the ship and everything, right? And a lot of what we've seen in the trailers comes from like that planet and then what we've already seen.
Unfortunately,
and so I feel like we're gonna get out of that.
Well,
room.
also figure like one of the the conceits of these shows is you have to also think in terms of budget. And if we get a new planet that we haven't seen before, we're going to see a lot of it because
Yes, you're right. Yes, Regan. You spend time on it, you know? They always do that. And there's obviously 2 duels going on. We know for a fact it's going to be Ahsoka versus Balin.
Oh.
And then you see the other forest shot. It's going to be Sabine versus either Shin or Morok.
Sabine and Shin.
Yeah.
Sabine and Shin are in the
Yeah.
forest. And
So-
it seems like not Ezra. I was gonna say Ezra.
So I wonder if we're going to get Hera in space doing some sort of space battle. Like, I don't know. The Eye of Sion. Are they going to leave immediately? Or I'm pumped. I don't know. I'm excited.
Got Mike here saying we're gonna go to Cetos, and Morgan and the crew are gonna jump to the new galaxy. Then Hera is going to have to organize the new.
Yeah,
Republic
because we
crew
do have
after
to see
them.
that conversation of them talking.
We have to have that.
Yeah, man.
That could be next episode too. Like while they're going to confront the Darksiders. She's like back on home one, like, listen, y'all, shit's about to go down. And Mon Mothma's like, I feel you, girl. Let's go. You know?
Exactly, Jerry. Mon Mothma's going to be a part of it, but the other senators are going to be like, no.
No, you've got, listen, we've got Kazuda Ziono's dad there, and we already know he kind of like, I don't know if he's going to go along with it or not. Like, he didn't, I can't remember from that series off the top of my head, but.
Also, one thing we have to acknowledge too, if I'm not mistaken, Morok, like Buck's saying, does fight someone. I think Morok fights Ahsoka.
Yeah.
In there as well. So like maybe next week. I know next week from what we've heard is a shorter episode. Maybe next week's nothing but action. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just like just lightsaber, then lead us into the the last 5 episodes of the show. It's so funny. I love and hate the 2-episode drops because it shortens the amount of time we can enjoy this show. And this show is going to probably lead to a ton of speculation and conversations that we all love to have as Star Wars fans.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just part of it, y'all. We got until the very beginning of October. So just all of September is going to be a vibe. I can't wait.
And I hate to say it, but since we have to acknowledge the fact that without our writers and our actors, we don't have any entertainment. We don't know how long it's going to be.
Oh yeah.
To get any more finished Star Wars. So
That's
right. CEOs, if you want that to happen, pay your fucking staff.
Yeah.
But we should. But I kind of like that because I feel like it'll also force people to just savor this and really appreciate it, and not just be like looking too far forward into how this affects the next thing. Because I just want to enjoy all of this. I honestly feel like from minute 1, this show I felt was answering a lot of my. I mean, like you guys, I've loved all of it, but I've just had some gripes as somebody who loves Star Wars and gets really excited for all of these things and always gets a little bit let down. Like I feel like this show immediately answered. Like it had all of those beats that have been missing from other things, and I just want to enjoy it. I just want to marinate in that Star Wars feeling again.
it is the most rewatchable one for me at this point. I like you said, Scotty, it's the third time you've watched it. You said that in our little chat. Third time, I'm like, damn, I've watched it twice and I feel like I have it all memorized, shot for shot memorized. It's like, it's so bad when new Star Wars comes out and it's actually this like super compelling, you know. And I love Andor and I love Mando and I love Kenobi. They're all great live action shows, but this is the one I think all of us animation fans and fans that kind of had to, you know, maneuver through that era of Star Wars are waiting for. So I'm so happy to have both of you on to share your opinions and thoughts and love for this. I just, it's been a great time, and the chat obviously being so active tonight really means a lot. I just thank you everyone for being able to come and enjoy this, because
and Scotty, we're going to get together in the future and talk about Paul Stanley Phantom of the Opera, right?
Oh, we need to, because I have not watched it. There's an
go.
HD version out there somewhere. Telling you. Yeah, he did Phantom of the Opera in the late 90s? Late
It's
90s,
amazing.
I might want to get in on this because I'm a musical girly, so
it's Paul.
It's in its entirety.
Musicals are bomb,
like
man.
on bad VHS quality
Love
on
music.
YouTube. It's amazing.
But there is apparently an HD cut out there, and I want that cut. But Regan, I don't know if you want to plug anything you got going on. You know, that's obviously something that'll happen in the near future. Definitely by the end of this year, we're gonna have that discussion about Paul and his Fan of the Opera. But anything else you want to say? Maybe even your Twitter.
I'm on Nerd Academy next to beloved Dark Jedi, and I will be talking about episode 3, hopefully in my Ahsoka shirt that, if you could see the rest of my apartment, I tore up to find and obviously did not. But I will be on that. And I'll probably be at New York Comic Con, maybe as Alice Secura, maybe I don't know. And you can find me at Regaba on multiple things, Regaba from Dagobah. And I'm very, very happy to be here. And you know, as we said before the chat, I have the singular distinction, at least I think, of being the first Bombad guest to have slept in Rosario Dawson's bed.
We got to hear this now. Now you can share it. I know you can share it.
It's not as scandalous as a story as it sounds, but she's not aware. She is not aware that it was me she loaned her apartment to. But many years ago, I'm very, very old. I worked on a movie with this director, Talia Lughese, who is very close friends with Rosario. And even though I did not live really far away, I do not like to get up really early in the morning. So she said, would you like to stay at Rosario's apartment in the city? I did not know it was that Rosario. And so here's my apology. Should she ever see this, I stayed in her apartment under her beautiful, delicious, thick yellow comforter. It was very, very comfy.
Wow.
I got up in the middle of the night and I was hungry, and I ransacked every cabinet in that apartment looking for snacks. She did not have any. She had like condiments and I think rice. And I tried to put everything back as neatly as possible. It was like no food for me to eat, and I was very, very bitter. But I'm sorry if it was very visibly ransacked when you got there. And then I spent the entire next day in Tompkins Square Park with her mom, like getting to work on her mom and plucking her mom's eyebrows in the park, which was wild.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
And she does not know any of this. But the movie, it was a short film, and Rosario actually does have a voiceover in it, which I didn't know until after the fact. But thank you for letting me hang out with your mom and letting me sleep in your bed, and you don't know me. And it's
Rosario Dawson's watching this like
who is this person?
The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like wait a second. That's why the ketchup and the condiments were all. That's why they were by the rice.
Okay, I did some research, Reagan.
Someone was trying to make some kind of I don't know, like rice dish or something here.
Was this it or no?
No.
Okay,
No.
I was doing some research.
Patty,
It was a while
don't show
ago.
Rosario Dawson's old
but-
apartment on our show.
Okay. Okay. Well, I love the fact that we have, this is such a notable thing. This is so Bombadcast. We've had McGruff the crime dog on. We have now had someone that slept in Rosario's yellow comforter New York apartment. Isn't that great? Isn't that cool? Stan's excited. Stan, what do you think of that, Stan? Okay, he says, wrap it up.
Okay, I'm getting a loud buzzing in my ears right now. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, Stan.
Stan.
Sorry, we've made him
angry.
We made him
No,
angry.
it's bringing our other wonderful guest this evening, the legendary Scotty the Bunny Holiday.
I'm really obsessed with this song. Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I don't have as exciting of a story as Reagan, but just like Reagan, I will be on Nerd Academy podcast tomorrow, which is Friday, and it's going to be really great, and it's going to be a good time. And you can find me at Scotty Holiday SW on basically every social media site. So yeah.
Scotty, you brought all your friends and family here tonight.
Yeah.
Scotty is very devout friends and fans.
Scotty brings their entire like posse.
Unbelievable. It's so nice. I love it. And thank you, Scotty, for being a part of this as well. Reagan, always wonderful. Reagan, did we baptize you yet? Have we baptized Reagan, Jerry?
You've been baptized, right?
Does that mean I said the thing? I've said the thing.
What's baptized or
You've said the thing, but have you seen the thing?
This is your wake-up call. Time to reach, go for it all. Vulture stirs inside of me, and I know what I can be. Limit is the sky. Hey world, watch me fly. The best part of waking up is vultures in your cup.
Baptized.
Where did he go?
Look at this. Oh, look at sipping on blue milk. Thank you.
That means a lot.
This means
Thank
a lot
you.
to us.
Love you, Blue.
But you know what, Scotty? This is how I know you don't love me, because I once made you a birthday card that was heavily.
Oh, I have it right here.
Soldier's cup.
Want to grab that shit? Hold on, I have it right. Literally have it right here. Hold on. It's in Miss.
He looks at it every
I keep it in the
time.
same spot as the cards that my students write me. That's how much that card means to me. Hold on. Nope. This
Shuffles through a stack of paper.
This says coupon for sushi masa date with Katie. That's a guarantee from Katie. Hold on. I'm telling you, I have like a plethora of cards. I've got some from Nick and Pete.
That was like, I was like, that was so heartwarming and convincing, and then it was a sushi coupon.
This has my address on it. Oh, this is apparently a signed Rick McCallum envelope from Australia that I spent like $15 on. I don't know if it's real. It just says Rick McCallum Star Wars on it, so I don't think it's real.
Seems legit.
I swear, Reagan, I have your card right here.
No, but it was a digital card, so I don't know what you're looking for. The only other card.
It wasn't physical?
Christmas. I've sent you a Christmas card, but the birthday card.
Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of then. Hold on. I know I have it. This might be it. Wait a minute.
Reagan knows that my
that's
kid
my stepmom.
makes me pretend that her card is like a storybook and read it to her every now and
Oh,
then. Right?
That's a blank one.
Like yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had told you that before. Yeah. She's like, here,
Look,
pretend
this is
you're
from
reading this story.
This is from
and fall
all my
asleep."
students right there. That's all of them. What else do I have? I'm telling you, I have one from you right here, Reagan. Wait a second.
The suspense is killing me.
Hold on.
This is like everyone's like on the edge of their seats now.
Wait, what is this? Oh, this is my dad's. This is for my wedding. Hold on. I don't think you wrote this.
Right, yes, Stan. Yes.
Sorry, Stan.
Sorry, Stan. Sorry.
This one's initial to Mr. Jaro. I don't think Reagan would have addressed me as Mr. Jaro.
Reagan's card is calling through time and space.
Wait a minute. Yes. Wait a minute. Is this it? Nope. That's wedding registry. This is, what is this?
This is.
Nope. This is from Dad and Beth. This is.
Wow, is that card from? Is that? Did you get one of my cards?
Is this it? For the bride and groom?
My sister.
No.
My sister's name.
That's from Kevin. Okay, hold on. Emma. Is this it?
Is this a bit?
This is the card that Katie wrote for me on my wedding day. Why is it just sitting in this pile? Hold on.
How giant is this pile?
Oh, I've been looking for this. Hold on. Wait.
Oh my god.
No, I don't know if it's right here. I thought it was right here.
But
Here's
the whole
what-
point is that one of the first birthday cards I ever sent you online was it was based around Folgers coffee. And
That's
that's how
right.
I know you don't love me because you forgot.
No, it's not that. It's. I don't remember if you've been baptized by it. It would be one thing just to like watch a video. Sorry, Stan. It'd be one thing. That's when Stan's really fucking mad. Okay, we'll wrap it up, Stan. Anyway, we love you all. I want to give Reagan the opportunity to scream "Stay Bombad." So let's hear it, Ray.
Stay bombed! Okay, this is awkward now.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share.
What is it? Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their